Hit that start record. We haven't gotten an ending yet. Where the fuck was I? I don't even remember. Why also? Because I'm not gonna be able to play it immediately. They step through the door to find themselves in a wide hallway.
Another hallway.
Yes, it is another hallway. Junpei, June, Lotus, and Santa stopped for a moment and looked at their surroundings. A short distance away, a metal gate extended across the width of the hallway.
Come on, open!
It's not going to open because you rattled it, you know.
I wish I could change the speed of the text. It makes me sad.
Damn it!
They took hold and shook, but it refused to move.
Look over here!
Nearby was a pair of elevators.
Elevators. And the buttons?
Probably don't work.
Of course they don't work.
The power must be out here too, just like by the staircase.
Alright, Theta, enjoy your lurk.
That leaves this door. Well, looks like we don't have any choice.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Well then, let's open it.
All right, here I go.
Junpei grabbed hold of the knob and quietly pushed the door open. Am I gonna have to whip out my journal and take notes again? Oh god. He entered slowly, trying to take in as much of his surroundings as he could. The others followed shortly.
Oh, so it's a kitchen.
Neat. Santa did not look pleased.
What were you expecting?
Isn't it obvious? The exit. I was hoping this would be the way out of here.
You really think it'd be that easy?
Yeah, I know. Still.
As they talked, Lotus headed deeper into the room. Until at last she stood in front of a door.
If we can just get through this door, we should come out on the other side of that grate we saw earlier.
Hmm.
And then he didn't say the line. Interesting. Right, there's a couple of instances where that happens, but don't we need a key for that?
No good.
That wasn't even... I forgot that this was a thing that happened. Sorry, I guess that wasn't very constructive. Neither Junpei nor Lotus looked terribly happy. Bizarre.
Anyway, let's take a look.
I wonder if those audio files for that recording either just didn't get made or they just got... the wrong ones got put in for that specific line. Anyway, map. Junpei dug the ship map from his pocket, spread it out in front of him. Sorry, his spoken voice lines are in another game. As he did.
Hey!
What's that?
It's a map!
Huh? Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to tell you.
I didn't want to after you threatened to light my clothes on fire.
I found this a little while ago. It's a map of the B deck.
Before Junpei could finish, Lotus snatched the map away from him.
Let me see that.
She ran her finger across it, muttering to herself.
I knew it. See? Look.
Yes, hold your horses.
Junpei did as he was told.
What did you figure out?
Santa and June moved over to look at the map as well.
This is handy.
See? We came in here. Now if we go out there, then we'll be on the other side of the grate.
Where? With her finger, Lotus traced a path on the map. Okay, there we go.
How about that? She's right. We can get out through there.
There we go. Here, you can have it back.
Thanks. Satisfied that she had been correct, Lotus folded the map and handed it back to Junpei.
Thanks.
He took it and slid the valuable piece of paper back into his pocket.
There's a card reader on the right side of the door.
And that means the key card is somewhere in here, right?
That seems the most likely.
All right, we know what we need to do then. Let's get moving. First off, I say we split up and look for clues.
Okay.
Let's go! Alright. A voucher. It says appetizer 9, meat dish 10, soup A, seafood dish F. And this looks like a serving table. I would imagine food is put here after it's prepared so that the waiters and waitresses can take it out to the customers. But something doesn't seem right here. Why are there so many plates? Along with 4 different types of plates. Those 9 plates look pretty expensive. They're plates for appetizers. Remember, appetizers usually come on square plates, do they? Okay, well excuse me, princess! I don't know whether that one was intentional, and I'm sorry for raising my voice on that. 1, 2, 3. There's 10 of them. If you flip these over, they look like hats. The middle is super deep for a plate. They're soup plates. One observation. If you flip the plate over, it turns into a hat. A very fragile hat. They're made that way so that the soup doesn't spill. If we ever get out of here, you should treat yourself to a nice dinner out. What makes you think a poor college student has the money to do something like that? I think there are 15 of these plates. I'm assuming they're for seafood. How the hell can you tell that? They look just like any other plate from the 99-cent store. If you ever take a lady out to dinner, you're going to embarrass yourself. I feel sorry for June. Why the hell are you bringing up June? The lady doth protest too much, methinks. You're not terribly subtle. A round plate for seafood. There are 15 of them in a pile. I'm gonna be real here, I can't tell either. There's a bunch of little wavy ridges on this plate. Those plates are for serving meat. Ugh, you really are ignorant, aren't you? Come on, it's not like I need to know this crap. Jeez. There's a voucher at the end of the counter. This voucher doesn't match the number of plates on the table. It says appetizer 9, meat dish 10, soup A, seafood dish F on the voucher. And the plates on the table are 9 appetizer, 16 meat, 10 soup, 15 seafood. Maybe they're using hexadecimal here. Hello and welcome to math. And hexadecimal is... It's a number system that goes 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, 10, 11. You're familiar with base 10, right? That's the normal system of numbers. The base 10 equivalents for hexadecimal numbers would go like this. A equals 10, B equals 11, C equals 12, D equals 13, E equals 14, F equals 15. And 10 equals 16. The 10 becomes 16 in base 10. I know it sounds strange, but you could think of it as just 6 letters added onto the normal number system after 9. I think I get it. I don't know. Do you? Let me grab my journal. Not to write in it, but to have it. That is nuts. Hexadecimal. I wonder if it's some kind of hint. Yeah, maybe. Junpei, do you remember what I told you about hexadecimal code earlier? Yeah, you literally just told me about it. Yeah, of course I do! Alright, then here's a little quiz for you. What would 9 plus f be in base 10? Well, f equals 15, so it would be 9 plus 15, which would be 24, right? That's right. Good job. You're a fast learner. Thanks. That's how you count in hexadecimal. The countertop. We've got a rolling pin and, colander. Nothing useful, in other words. A well-kept countertop. Doesn't seem to be anything useful on it, though. That's the exit. There's a big old iron plate over the door. I don't think we can open it. I don't think so either. Hey, Santa. Could you open that door, please? What the hell? There's no way I could open that thing. Guess you're getting to that age where your eyes start to go, huh? You'd better watch your mouth, boy, or someone won't live long enough to see that door opened. This has got the two of them on edge. We gotta get out of here, and fast. It's a tank with a pipe coming out of it. Nothing really that special about it. Hey, is that a boiler over there? Who knows? The pipe goes up into the ceiling. Maybe, just maybe, we climb into that pipe and get out of there. Idiot. How the hell are you supposed to get into a pipe that size? Well, at least you kind of got my joke. That makes me kind of happy. Only kinda, though. There's nothing special about it. There's a light hanging from the ceiling. He has nothing to say about it. Anyway, moving on. Oh, let me just hold off there. Wow, Jumpy, you can reach really high. Yeah, I can jump pretty high. Here we go! This light is pretty high up. It's hard to get to. Amazing. It's a lot of notes. Got a bunch of stuff written on them, but it doesn't look like code or anything like that. Okay. Looks like a bunch of instructions for using the cooking utensils. Nothing really suspicious about that. There's notes here, but they don't look very important. Ah, yes. Well, fine, I'll go in here. Cheese! There are a number of cheeses lined up on the shelf. This is Gouda cheese, the most famous Dutch cheese. If you don't cut open the casing, it usually won't go bad. So you can store it at room temperature for quite a while. So we can eat this? Most likely. I'm not hungry. At all. I guess it's hard to get hungry in a situation like this. There's cheese on the shelf. Sweet. Do you have anything else to say about the cheese? No? No? I can look at every single individual cheese. Hey, there's something behind the cheese. You're right. Why don't we move some of the cheese? Alright guys, time to move it. June and I need to look behind you. There's a little green bottle back there. A bottle of oil. Oh, look, cooking oil. You could probably use this to make something slippery. A bottle of oil, originally intended for cooking. It also might be useful for lubrication. Good. There's milk in here. Milk in an iron barrel. Judging by the rust, it's probably really old. Nice. Oh, cooking oil. Oh, that's less fun. Oh, you're gonna love this. I can't wait until we're in the freezer. Maybe we shouldn't open it up. I don't think it'd be a pretty sight. It might be cheese. There's a big barrel of milk behind the cloth. There's so much stuff in here. A whole lot of cans. This is probably a pantry. Why is there milk in the pantry? Wooden box on the second row, though. There's a knife in this box.
A rusty knife? I don't think we'll be able to use it while it's like this.
The knife seemed important, Junpei thought, but it wasn't going to be much use the way it was. Welcome
It's
back,
futile.
then. We're gonna talk about futility, huh?
Futile?
You know, a waste, useless, pointless.
Oh. Any particular reason you wanted to bring that up?
Oh, no reason really. I was just thinking about futility.
Huh?
She wasn't making much sense. Junpei tried rephrasing his question.
Why were you thinking about futility?
At last, she answered.
Well, it has something to do with the Titanic.
Oh, right, what we were talking about earlier, last week. The Titanic.
The Titanic?
Yep. Have you ever heard the story that the sinking of the Titanic was predicted?
Oops. Well, I mean, let's hear her out, but how should we respond? Have we heard that? I don't know. Says the person who's played this game multiple times. No, I haven't.
No, I haven't. What is it?
In 1892, 14 years before the Titanic sank, a novel was published. It was called Futility. It was written by an American novelist named Morgan Robertson.
Cool.
The story was about a big cruise ship colliding with an iceberg and sinking.
For the theory that it was used for insurance fraud purposes. And she's just like, well, I kind of want to talk more about futility.
Of course, if that was the only similarity, there wouldn't be any reason to mention it. It wasn't, though. The name of the ship, its nationality, course, departure time, size, displacement, maximum speed, number of passengers and crew, the number of lifeboats, even the location of the accident itself, and the cause and the location of the damage. Everything matches the Titanic almost exactly. It was almost as if he'd seen the whole thing happen. But this book was written 14 years before the Titanic sank.
Dun dun dun.
But that's not all. It wasn't just futility that predicted the sinking of the Titanic. There were two other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead. Both of them before the accident. One in 1886 and one in 1892. Stead wrote two stories that had striking similarities to the Titanic disaster. In one, two ships collided. Many of the passengers died because there weren't enough lifeboats. In the other, a ship collided with an iceberg and sank.
I don't know. I mean, I'll give you that it seems a little weird, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't too uncommon for ships to hit icebergs back in the day, or even other ships.
Right, I knew you'd say that. But what if Stead had some sort of special powers? To be more specific, what if he had the ability to do automatic writing?
What? Automatic writing? Wait, are you talking about when someone's possessed by a spirit and then they write a bunch of stuff without knowing what they're writing?
Yes,
What do you mean, yes? That stuff's a load of bull.
but Jumpy, you said you believe in curses.
Oh yeah, I had to say that. Wait, did I? Did I say I believed in curses? I don't remember, it's been a week.
Come on, that's totally different.
Yeah, curses are different than possession.
Okay, let's say, hypothetically, that automatic writing isn't a total load. These guys still couldn't have predicted the sinking of the Titanic. When this Stead dude wrote his thing, nobody had died on the Titanic yet. So if automatic writing is about being possessed by dead people, who the hell possessed him so he could write that stuff?
That's not it.
Oh, I probably did. You believed in curses. What do you mean? It's like, this is different. This is different, June.
What's not it?
Stead wasn't possessed by a spirit.
Oh, I said she'll tell us a story no matter what, but let's try to be nice to her, yeah.
He was doing the possessing.
Oh. What are you smoking?
William Thomas Stead was a passenger on the Titanic. He just wrote down what he saw with his own eyes 20 years before it happened.
He decided it was probably best to say nothing. What June was saying was insane and utterly absurd. If he tried to take what she was saying seriously, he'd go mad. Junpei smiled uncomfortably.
Well, why don't we talk about this some other time, okay?
Not in a pantry with all the cheese and milk.
Huh? But
Her voice trailed off and she glanced at the floor, troubled.
Come on, let's get back to it.
Junpei tapped June gently on the shoulder and awkwardly reached around her to pick up the knife from the box. Rusty knife. Look at that knife. Amazing. We're really in trouble. I know I'm just repeating myself, but this is really a futility moment. Wait, this is June! Fuck, that blade is so rusty! Yeah, I know. We can't cut a damn thing with a knife like this. If we're gonna cut anything, we probably have to sharpen the knife. I should be able to cut stuff with it. Only if it's sharpened, though. Woo! Can I combine it with the oil? No. There's nothing inside. Game jumping. The Titanic was actually the Olympia. Oh! Right. Let's not. Not yet, at least. A trash can. There's nothing inside of it. Well, better than being full of rotten food, I suppose. This is true. A big bucket made of tin. There's nothing inside. Damn it, there's nothing in here. Hey, Santa, digging through the trash really suits you. What the hell did you say? Listen, lady, I did you a favor. I knew you'd just piss and moan, so I did it for you. Oh my. I don't recall asking you to do anything. Urgh. I gotta throttle you. Excuse me. What is the plot of this game? Plot is 9 people, unfortunately now 8, are stuck on a boat that'll sink in 9 hours. The objective is to play the nonary game by going through numbered doors in which the 3 to 5 people go through a room by adding up the numbers on their bracelet to the digital root, like, to make the digital root of all of the numbers of their bracelets to match the number of the door, go through there, solve a puzzle, and then eventually by the end of it, when we find a door that has a number 9 painted on it, that will be the exit. So how does the guy running this make sure that we don't cheat? We got a bomb in our stomach. And that's why we currently are at 8 people, not 9. Because somebody broke the rules. And now they're in a state. That state is not living. She looks like she belongs in One Piece. Does it feel colder in here? Oh, a countertop. There's a rolling pin and colander here. Nothing useful. So yeah, we're sort of in a situation. Rip dead person. Yeah. Maybe this table is preparing for... my god. Maybe this table is for preparing food. There are plates everywhere. Okay, the plates are not interesting, apparently. It's a sink. It's a whetstone. A whetstone? What are you planning to do with that? Ah, shit, don't tell me you're gonna try and smash open the card reader. Are you an idiot? If you do that, then we'll never get out of here. Oh. Yeah, I guess that would be bad, huh? This whetstone's only going to be useful if we need to sharpen something. A whetstone, I could probably use it to sharpen a knife. I have an idea! Maybe I'll use the whetstone to sharpen the knife! The blade of the knife is getting sharper by the second. I should be able to cut something pretty good with this. Look at that knife. Wonderful. So, I guess you managed to sharpen the knife, Junpei. Who are you gonna stab with that? No one! You could probably cut something soft with that. The knife is nice and sharp again. I could probably cut something soft with it. Oh, I forgot to look at the knife when it was rusty with Santa and Lotus, damn it. Well, we can look at the bottle of cooking oil. The bottle's old, but we might be able to use the oil inside for something. Maybe we could put it on the old hag's face. Might help moisturize it a little, get rid of some of those wrinkles. How about we put it on your face and then light it on fire? A sink. It's still got water in it. There are a couple of plates in there, but I don't think they're gonna help us much. Amazing. Is his name is Santa? Yeah, everybody has code names because we don't know each other. Although Jumpy got outed by June because we know her. One of the characters said we gotta have code names. So everybody's code name matches the number that is on their bracelet. So his name is Santa because the Japanese word san means 3. So his name is Santa. And Lotus is because her bracelet number is 8. And June's is because hers is 6. Hers is 6. Or is it 5? No, hers is 6. Hers is 6. Ours is 5. It's okay, I'm fine. But yeah, our bracelet number is 5, but we don't get a code name because June, before we had code names, was like, oh, this is my friend this is Junpei, we're childhood friends, and 7 was like, no, don't tell us information that we don't need to hear. This 0 guy might not know everything there is about us. So let's not share too much information, hence why we didn't share names. And why his name is 7, because that's his code name. They're lights, buddy. Nothing weird about that. Lights to light up the room. Yeah. So Santa's bracelet number is 3. As it stands, the names for all the characters, because we're currently not with everyone, we're only with some people because not everyone can go through the same doors, are in order starting from 1 to 9 of their bracelets and their code names: Ace, Snake, Santa, Clover, Junpei, June, 7, Lotus, and Ninth Man, because Ninth Man kind of died before he could give us a code name. They're doing a good job. Good job, Lights. Wow, what a nice dish rack. I'd love to have that in my kitchen. Why don't you take it back with you? Are you offering to carry it for me? Why don't you ask 7? You're kidding. You don't honestly think I'd let a beast like that into my home, do you? Okay. It's a partition that splits the room. Nothing suspicious about that. Nothing at all. Alright, it's going. Do you think this was all part of Zero's plan? Probably. Kinda hard to believe there's a chef on board somewhere. It's a grill. There's some coals down there. They're bright red. Wonder what this drawer is. You see the metal grate on top of the grill? They make it like that so that the fat and juices can drip off of the meat while it cooks. Oh, okay. Drawer seems to be stuck. It won't open. Looks like the area under the plate opens up. No, you can't. I already checked. It's sealed shut. I think that's where the coal goes. Huh. Okay. That's not what I meant to do. There are some bottles of seasoning in here. All we've got here is a pot and frying pan. Oh, and a pressure cooker. Well, I guess we could use some of those as weapons. What kind of an idiot are you? You're gonna run around holding that thing while you're looking for the dead. Hey man, it was just a joke. Why so serious? A frying pan and 2 kinds of pots. An iron oven. Looks pretty heavy duty. It's probably industrial quality. I bet you could cook anything with this. Anyway, let's have a look inside. Damn, I knew it. It's locked. This is the display area above the buttons. This is probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password. Maybe if we put in the right number, it'll open the oven door. Except... Hey, Junpei, why don't we try entering the numbers we found on the voucher earlier? The one that said appetizer 9, meat dish 10, soup A, seafood dish F? Yes. Convert the 10, A, and F to base 10. Well, it's worth a shot. No dice. Looks like that's too many numbers. It's a card reader. Since the light's red, I figure it's probably still locked. The key card for it's gotta be around here somewhere. We just gotta find it. Okay. Card reader, the light is red. Damn, didn't work. It doesn't matter how many times you try it. This door isn't going to open until we've solved all the puzzles in this room. I'm sure this is all just part of Zero's plan. I just can't imagine what his motives could be. The door is locked. It won't open. Oh, lights. It's nice to have something finally go our way. Indeed. There are a bunch of lights, lighting up the room. Fantastic. It's only a partition. There's nothing else worth noting here. Indeed. This is the door we came in through. It's not locked, so we could go back out, but what's the point, right? All that's out there is an iron gate and a dead-end hallway. Yup. Might as well be locked for all the good going back out there do. Yep. A door! There's a bolt keeping us from opening it. Well, I can move the doorknob. Then I'll bet all we need to do is get this bolt off. Use the knife on the door! It's a bolt. And it's really rusty. Will this even open? We won't know till we try. Let's give it a shot. Alright, let's see if you're gonna come out. Damn. No dice. A rusted bolt. This door won't open until we can do something about this bolt. Maybe if we had some kind of lubricant. Yeah, maybe. This bolt is rusted in place. It won't budge. Of course! Maybe if I put some oil on it. Hey! Just a little bit of oil and... Come on! Come on, you little son of a bitch! Whoa! Ha! Yes! Got you, you little bastard! You did it, Jumpy! You're so smart! Yes, thank you. Please, compliment me more, June. Something's bothering me. The bolt is off. It's all oily and gross, though. As Junpei walked into the room, a blast of cold air washed over him. Almost instinctively, he folded his arms tight across his chest, doing what he could to conserve body heat.
Oh, it's cold in here.
It is.
What is this place?
I don't know. Guess.
Are you blind? It's a freezer.
Santa's teeth had already begun to chatter. Hardly surprising. The freezer was far too cold for someone dressed as he was. Lotus, however, was in an even worse situation.
Oh, no way. That's way too cold for me. I'll freeze solid in seconds. Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one. I'm going to leave the rest to you.
And with that, she ran out of the room. As Lotus left, June came in.
Oh, whoa. It's really cold in here.
Light puffs of steam hovered in front of their faces as they talked. June had already started to shiver.
Hey, you don't need to be in here. You had a fever just a little bit ago. You should stay outside. We got this.
No, I'm fine. My fever's gone now.
But
Junpei had scarcely opened his mouth
Huh?
when the thunderous sound of metal upon metal rang out from behind them. In unison, they spun around to find that the door they had only recently come through was closed. Junpei rushed to the door.
no! Why did it suddenly close?
Desperately, he grabbed hold of the doorknob.
Ah!
It was cold, beyond cold. Merely touching it was painful.
The knob's frozen!
But why?
They quickly deduced that the pipe next to the door had ruptured.
It looks like the pipe next to it broke, and...
Water released by the rupture had hit the door and frozen instantly. Santa shoved Junpei aside and pounded against the door.
Hey, Lotus! You're out there, right? Open the door!
She wasted no time in responding.
What do you want? What's going on?
The door won't open! Try opening it from that side, please!
Oh, fine. Like, if you say so. Hold on.
Soon they could hear Lotus on the other side of the door. Then the grunting ceased, and they could hear light panting, as if from exertion.
It's no use. It won't budge. You've got more people in there. You figure it out.
Oh.
God damn it.
Santa was shaking like a newborn deer. June was hugging herself and was shivering violently. Even Junpei, with the heaviest clothes of any of them, was clearly feeling the cold. With every breath they took, they could feel the cold working its way deeper and deeper into their blood. Into their bodies.
Anyway, let's find a way out. If we don't get moving, we're gonna be permanent residents.
Two heads are better than none. I'm sure we'll figure something out.
Yeah,
Lotus believes in
You're
us.
right.
Yeah.
Let's just take a good look around this room, okay?
right.
They pushed in close to one another and began to search. There's water dripping from this pipe. Looks like when the pipe burst, the water hit the doorknob and froze it in place. This water actually seems almost warm. There's warm water flowing from the pipe. There's no way we could break this door down. Then that means we have to do something about that ice. Yeah. This door leads out of here. Unfortunately, the doorknob's covered in ice. It's a thin pipe. This thing is covering something. It's frozen solid. I can't flip it over. Well, darn. There's some frozen meat up there. It looks like pork. Huh? What's this? Looks like a tag or something. Chunk of pork. Jumpy, is there a slip of paper in that meat? I think there's something written on here, but I can't read it like this. If you try and pull it out, it'll probably rip. We need to defrost that. Don't think we're gonna be doing that in this room. It's a chunk of pork with paper inside of it. We should be able to take it out once it's been defrosted. So it's useless! Everything's frozen in here. It doesn't look like there's anything else interesting. Nothing special about that. I want to look around everywhere. Okay. It's frozen chicken! It's really hard. It's frozen stiff. Hey, June, can you say that again? Huh? Say it again. It's really hard. Again. It's really hard. Thanks. Something wrong, Junpei? Your face is bright red. Nothing. I'm fine. If it's that hard, you could probably use it as a hammer. Yeah, good point. Maybe we can use it to break something. Jumpy, it's really hard. It's like a hammer. Maybe we can use this to crush something. Jumpy, your chunk of meat, it's rock solid. I love this game. Maybe we can use this to crush something. Seven is voiced by Edward Bosco. Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't go in the number 4 door. Akana isn't laughing when she says it. Well, that's unfortunate because I think it's hilarious. Jumpy, it's really hard. It's like a hammer. Nom nom. Don't eat it! Maybe we can use it to crush something. It's chicken. Might as well be a rock, though, for how hard it's frozen. Alright, well, that's enough of that. Dry ice. Woo! Dry ice? There seems to be some innuendo in that dialogue. Huh. Can't you make that stuff cause an explosion if you seal it in something that's airtight? Explode? Yeah, didn't you do that in school? You should never underestimate the power of expanding gas. Dry ice. We might be able to cause an explosion if we put in something airtight and make it melt. Woo! Junpei picked up the dry ice with his sleeve so as to avoid burning himself.
Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It's magical how it can do that, huh?
I wonder how warm it has to get for it to turn back into gas again.
Hell if I know. How is that gonna help us anyway?
Oh, well, I figured we might be able to use it to get out of here.
They were about to move on when June spoke up.
Carbon dioxide sublimation point is negative 109 degrees. Any warmer than that, and it'll turn into gas. Any lower, and it becomes a solid.
Cool, so it's that cold in here. Awesome. How are we still alive? Junpei looked at her dumbfounded.
Oh, how do you know that?
Despite my looks, I'm the the queen of random knowledge.
Looks bad to mess up when you're showing off. Oh, you're so cold your mouth's going numb?
Yeah, that's right.
You're just doing that on purpose, aren't you?
June giggled and did her best to hide her guilt. At least she was still feeling good enough to joke around, Junpei told himself.
Come on, guys. Don't you think that's kind of weird?
What?
I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first.
Maybe because the state that it's in is... I don't know. Santa was now shivering at an astounding rate, but his curiosity seemed unaffected. Junpei? Wanted to talk about carbon dioxide or wanted to get the fuck out of the freezer? Which one do you think you'd choose? Whatever.
It is kind of weird.
It's weird. Science. It's magic. June answered.
But it can turn into a liquid.
Cool.
Carbon dioxide turns to liquid if you put it under high enough pressure. But at 1 atmosphere, normal air pressure...
It won't turn into a liquid, right?
That's right. Instead of melting, it'll do what's called sublimating and change immediately from a solid state to a gaseous one.
It's weird to bring it up again later. Now's the only appropriate time for this conversation. Yes, perfect.
See, that is weird. Water's a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees. So why isn't that the case for carbon dioxide?
Fahrenheit. Right? Yes. June replied with an answer that stunned both of them.
There's a kind of ice that doesn't turn into liquid when it goes above 32 degrees.
Huh?
I heard about it. Its melting point is 96 degrees.
Ice with a melting point of 96 degrees?
You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees?
Yeah, well, you could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees.
Water that freezes at 96 degrees. Ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees. Junpei was cold as hell, but this was too interesting to ignore. He did his best to warm up by rubbing his arms and stamping his feet, then put the question to June.
So what's this ice with a melting point of 96 degrees called?
Yes, let's have a conversation about ice in the freezer. It'll help
heard it's
distract
called
us from
Ice
the cold.
Ice 9?
Originally, Ice 9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction author. But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists.
Wait, hold up. So is this thing called Ice 9, or is it water?
Like I said, if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be liquid.
More
if it's under
nines.
that, it'll solidify.
The nonary game. Everything must ultimately revolve around 9.
So, you could think of it as a polymorph of H2O.
Cool.
Here, think of it like diamonds and graphite. They're both made of carbon, right? But depending on the structure of the crystallization, the hardness and structure are completely different.
So you're saying normal water and this Ice 9 are like that?
Yup.
She wasn't finished.
Have you heard the story about the crystallization of glycerin? For 150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed it. They did all sorts of things to it. But whatever they did, it never crystallized. However, one day in 1920, some glycerin on its way to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip. Scientists around the world wanted to research this new crystallized form of glycerin and asked for seeds. Oh, a seed is a sample of the original crystallized substance. With a seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be easy. However, something very strange happened. Not only did the glycerin encouraged by seed crystals begin to crystallize, even the samples nearby did, even though they were tightly sealed. And it didn't end there. After that day, it doesn't matter where in the world it is. All glycerin crystallizes naturally when cooled to less than 64 degrees. Before that day, no matter how glycerin was cooled, it refused to crystallize. But once the crystallization had begun, it was almost like, how do I put it? It was almost like all the glycerin in the world was communicating. Communicating in some way that we can't sense. And now it's happening everywhere.
Junpei was honestly impressed or was kind of annoyed. We'll just keep being affirmative. Anything for June. All for June. Junpei is a simp. Confirm. Was honestly impressed. It was, in fact, a pretty interesting story.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
This is
But,
the conversation that you can't not have, because Santa will be interested if you are like, no, this is stupid. Why are we talking about this in a freezer?
What does that have to do with Ice 9?
To his surprise, it was Santa and not June who answered.
What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean.
A lot like? Oh, that would be bad. If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees? Man.
It'd be the end of the world.
Junpei felt that Santa might not be treating the idea of the end of the world with the proper concern.
At any rate, we're not gonna have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty damn quick.
He was right. Junpei shivered.
Alright guys, I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic.
Yeah, let's stop talking about glycerin. That's weird.
I mean, I know I'm kinda at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore. So seriously, I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland. I freaking hate the cold. So let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here.
Okay. Santa stomped off, clearly doing his best to pretend the cold wasn't affecting him.
Selfish, isn't he?
But screwing around is the only thing I know how to do. Still, Santa was right, and it was high time they got back to their search.
Ice 9 is interesting and all, but we can discuss it more once we get out of this freezer.
Junpei looked at June, nodded, and resumed his search of the room. Is there anything interesting in here anymore? No? Okay. Sturdy rope. It's a rope. Well, we could use it to attach something to something else, I suppose. A sturdy rope. I could probably tie things together with this. Wow, amazing. There's so much stuff in here. Why don't we take some of it out, Jumpy? Storage area built into the floor, like a small cellar. There are a couple of bottles in here. A water bottle. Water bottle. Yes, it is. It's an empty water bottle. The neck is pretty small. I don't think I could fit anything very big in there. There isn't anything else in here that looks useful. Oh yeah, my knife. Instead, we will combine it with the chicken. Smash the ice with the chicken. Alright, the dry ice is all in pieces now. Wow. Wow, you crushed it up really good. You should be able to get it into anything you want now. Can't you make that stuff cause an explosion if you seal it in something that's airtight? I'm gonna put the pieces of dry ice into the water bottle. Water bottle with dry ice in it. So you put the dry ice in the water bottle, Jumpy? If it explodes, it could probably blast away the ice on the door. So, how are we gonna get it to stay against the doorknob? And let's just tie a rope on here. We have a bomb! Hey, why don't we use that rope to tie that bottle into the doorknob? You just have to put some water in it, and then if we can give it a good whack with something, kaboom! It'll explode and break the ice off the door. Then what are we waiting for? I can't take this cold any longer. Agreed. Warm water dripped from the ruptured pipe near the door.
Put water into the bottle with dry ice. And make sure the lid's closed. Now I just have to put this makeshift bomb on the doorknob. Alright, that's set. So, what do we do now?
We just need to give it a little, tap. The bottle's already about to pop. If we just throw a rock or something at it, it'll go off all on its own.
A small rock. Huh. A small rock.
Leia is barking. Junpei looked down at the floor. Scattered across it were pieces of dry ice left over from the larger chunk he'd crushed earlier.
Alright, this ought to do the trick.
He pulled his sleeve down over his hand to keep from getting burned and grabbed the chunk of dry ice.
Ah, some dry ice, huh? Not a bad idea.
It was a pretty good size. About as big as a pool ball.
Alright, guys, stand back. Actually, we should probably hide somewhere.
Both Santa and June looked at him with new concern.
Where exactly do you expect us to hide, genius?
There isn't really anywhere big enough.
Yeah, there is. Look, right here. We can hide in there.
Junpei pulled open the door to the small cellar.
Come on, get inside, quick!
Santa and June nodded and jumped down into the hole. Junpei quickly followed. In his hand, he could feel the chill of the frozen carbon dioxide even through his sleeve. He tightened his grip, took aim, and prepared to throw.
Alright, here I go. 3, 4, 5.
You're counting the wrong way.
Oh, oops.
That is a really sad excuse for a joke, man.
Sorry, dude. Alright, for real this time. You guys ready?
Yes, whenever you're ready.
Just throw the damn thing.
Alright, here I go. 3, 2, 1.
Junpei threw the chunk of dry ice as hard as he could. With the same motion, he ducked down into the cellar with Santa and June, just as... Junpei leapt up out of the cellar and ran to the door. Oh yeah, the dice roll!
Jumpy!
I'll do that when I get out of the freezer. I kinda forgot about that.
The ice on the door! Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone!
The blast must have shattered it.
Yes! Alright, let's see if it opens.
Junpei grabbed the knob and pushed with all his might. Freedom! From one part of the room. We're still ultimately trapped in the kitchen, but hey, we're not gonna freeze to death. Woo! The door gave way easily, and all three of them tumbled out of the freezer at once.
Hooray! We're out!
June, relieved, collapsed onto the floor.
Move!
Santa shoved past Junpei and ran straight to the grill, which he immediately grabbed.
Oh, god damn it! Hot, 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 hot! Fuck!
He proceeded to kick the grill in a futile but amusing fit of rage.
Well, you did just grab the grill. What did you think would happen? Hey, where's Lotus?
It took Junpei only a moment to find her. She was sitting on the counter, idly scratching her chest.
Oh, welcome back. I was starting to get tired of waiting for you guys.
With a great yawn, Lotus lowered herself off of the counter. Junpei clenched his teeth and walked toward her.
What were you doing?
What do you mean, what was I doing? I was waiting.
We were gonna die!
Oh, yeah? But you didn't. So everything worked out all right, didn't it?
What the hell?
Just kidding. It might not look like it, but I was really worried.
Oh, don't give me
Let tell you
that
about
crap!
This book. Stop, Akane.
I'm telling the truth. I mean, if you died, then I'd be in trouble too. If you died, then I'd be stuck here, and I'd die too. See? I did all I could. I even looked around to see if there was anything I could use to pry open the door. But I couldn't find anything. So, all I could do was wait. I mean, what else did you want me to do? Call the cops?
It was true that there wasn't much she could have done, but something about her tone. Junpei gritted his teeth.
Fine. But there's one thing I have to ask you.
What's that?
You didn't close the door, did you?
Wait, what? You think I closed the door on you? Why would I do something like that? It closed on its own. I told you before, if you die, then I die too.
Yeah, I guess so.
It seemed that an accident was the only explanation for the door's closure.
If she'd really wanted to kill us, all she had to do was bar the door from the outside. But she didn't. Well, she didn't do anything. She's only lazy, or negligent at least, not an attempted murderer.
Junpei swallowed his anger and did his best to apologize.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you.
Oh, yes, well, that's all right. As long as you understand.
Suspicious, Junpei. Suspicious. Lotus looked away and twirled her hair between her fingertips. His vengeance against the grill complete, Santa swaggered back toward Junpei and Lotus.
Hey, no more screwing around, you two. Break time's over. Especially for you, lady. You've just been sitting on that fat ass of yours while we were freezing to death.
How rude! I was plenty busy.
Yeah. How about you put all that energy into something besides bitching? Let's go.
Ugh. Items. Items? Hey, you want to look at this chunk of pork, Lotus? That is a frozen piece of pork. Yes, it is. Hey, what's that? It looks like there's a piece of paper inside it. If you try to pull it out, it might tear. Maybe you could melt it if you put it on something warm. Something warm? Something warm. Oh, yeah, didn't someone burn themselves on something earlier? Guess I'll put this meat on the grill. Hey, what are you doing? What are you going to do if the paper burns? Come on, it'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's gonna burn right away, right? You just gotta keep an eye on it, and the paper will be fine. Well, they can argue all they want. I'm gonna keep an eye on this pork. Cool, looks like it's about time. I'm gonna try taking the paper out. Jumpy, be careful. Sweet of her to care, but I know what I'm... Ouch! See? I told you. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Hurry up and take the paper out. It's not coming out. This thing's frozen stiff. I can't get it out. So are we going to have to cut the meat? Yeah, looks that way. Looks like we'll have to cut into that meat to get that piece of paper. I thought you had something you could cut meat with, didn't you? Shut up. I do. Alright, now that I've sharpened the knife, yes, I cut the pork. Pork has been cut. Awesome, Junpei, now we can eat. Except we didn't let it cook long enough. Now I can cut out the paper. Pork note. What a lovely name for it. C plus 10 plus F. Do you think it's some kind of code? Damn it, they're just screwing around. Do you know what C and F stands for? You think maybe it means corporate finance? I thought it was clever and funny. It says C plus 10 plus F on the note. So, if A is 10, B is 11, C is 12, F is 15. So, where's my calculator? That's not my calculator. Where's my calculator? There's my calculator. So, 12 plus 10 plus 15 is 37. Epic. And this is probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password. Maybe if we put in the right number, it'll open the oven door. Junpei, maybe the note you found earlier. Yeah, I've already figured it out. I know. Do you know how to enter those numbers? I think E is for enter and C is for clearing. Thank you. So basically, when I'm ready to submit my answer, I press E. So if I screw this up, I just press C, right? And then it's 10, which is 1. But... What? Was it 37? Did you just screw me up? You did! You screwed me up! What was the number? It was 12 plus 10 plus 15, right? It was 37, so why did that not work? What? You were just asking me to find digital root. That's not right? Oh! Right, because 10 is 16. I hate digital root. I hate not digital root, I hate hexadecimal. Because 10 is 16, yes. Hexadecimal. The number in hexadecimals, it's 1 through 9. So it's like 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, 10. But 10 is not 10. Since the F represents the equivalent of 15, when it goes back to 10, 10 is 16. So it wasn't 12 plus 10 plus 15, it was 12 plus 16 plus 15. Ah! Yeah, 10 in hexadecimal is 16 in base 10. Yeah, that was the logic. I forgot about that part. I was like, oh yeah, it was 10. No, it's not. It's 16. Well, I guess that went well. Yeah! The door opened. Good job, Jumpy! Saturn keycard. This looks like a lowercase h, but the line through it is throwing me off. This is the symbol for Saturn. Remember? There was an elevator next to the main staircase. Wasn't there a mark like this on the card reader next to it? Oh yeah, I remember that. I guess that means that card ain't gonna help us get out of this room then. I'm not sure. Why don't we try it out? Bitch 7. Let's get the fuck out of here. Yes! I think it's unlocked now. You did it, Jumpy! Let's get out of here. Agreed. Yes. Let's go. Amazing. You found it.
I think we've been here before.
Yes. Let me save first. Ah! Should I take a break here? It's been 4.5 hours. I probably should, and then I'll roll the dice and give the result when we return. That sounds like a good idea. What do you guys think? I think that's what we'll do. Which means going to the title, so that way there's no sound. Wonder who will win? I wonder. Anything is possible. So now that I am back, let us resume. I do it here because the title screen doesn't have any audio.
I think we've been here before.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I have food. A metal grate stretched from wall to wall. Beyond it were 2 elevators and the entrance to the kitchen.
The elevators are over there, so that means...
We went into the kitchen through that door and came out on this side.
Yeah. Like I said, it would have been amazing if 2 won. But for those who voted, it would not be 2. Understandable.
That means the map was right.
Looks like.
Then let's use it to plan our next move.
Next move?
Yeah, we need to decide where to go from here, don't we?
He's right. Let's get started.
From the looks of it, there are 4 possible routes. Let's just keep it simple and call them A, B, C, and D.
Do we know what game Junpei looks like? Yes, we do. He looks like a dork. And why does she call him Jumpy? Because they're childhood friends. And that was the nickname that she gave him. Oh, the audio cuts out. Here, let me look him up. He does! Look at him! Here. Look at him. Look at him. That's what we look like. Those colors, yikes. It's a style. Make that my desktop wallpaper as an apology. No.
First, A
I
and
stand
B.
by what I said. He looks like a dork.
They both seem to connect to a room that looks L-shaped.
Yeah, there were 2 doors. But they were both locked. We couldn't open them.
He has a style choice.
Now, Route C. This goes all the way to the main staircase.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's door 5, one of the numbered doors.
Then do you think we would meet up with the other 4 after this hallway?
Yes.
No, I don't think we will.
Why not?
Just you wait, though. Just you wait. Yeah, no, he has no fashion sense in this game.
Look, there by the stairs. See how the gate is opened? When we went into the kitchen, it was closed.
Oh,
But it's open now.
cool.
What do you think that means?
One Piece vibes from Lotus. Before they were given code names Junpei just kind of gave them nicknames in his head to try to differentiate them when describing them, and he did label her as Dancer. She's kind of got the proportions of a One Piece character, but...
They opened it.
Most likely.
And if we take Route C, we're going backwards.
That would be pointless.
Then that means...
We take the stairs. All 4 looked at the map. They all looked at the staircase. Its lazy curve leading down, deeper into the ship.
Route D, then.
D it is.
Yup, Route D.
Then we're set.
Has never read One Piece. They jogged down the stairs until they reached the sea deck.
Everything looks okay here.
Let's check the next deck just to be sure.
Yeah, just like I thought. D-Deck is totally underwater.
Just like the bottom of the central staircase.
Indeed. The water gazed back at them, its smooth surface like a great mirror.
At least the water level hasn't really changed.
Yep.
Small comfort.
May as well head back to C deck.
What else is here?
There are 2 elevators over there at the top of the stairs. Just like the floor above.
Yeah, I've heard of Vinland Saga, but I have not read that one. I read parts of Attack on Titan, but then I was like, meh.
Hold on, these are kind of different. See? There's a card reader on the side.
Another strange mark.
Hey, look! It's Lotus's symbol!
Ah.
Huh?
See? It's the woman symbol with horns on it. That seems like... Oh! Ouch! 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 Ouch!
Lotus had taken hold of Junpei's hair. She began to shake him violently, and he thought he heard a low growl coming from her throat.
What was that about the mark again?
Nothing.
Such violence. Junpei began to wonder if she was not the devil itself. Wait, what? If she was not the devil itself, yeah. With an uncomfortable smile, June spoke up.
This is a Mercury symbol.
Close, not quite.
The horns symbolize the wings on Hermes' staff.
Hermes herpes, whatever. If we can't get this thing to work, these elevators aren't going anywhere.
In other words, we need a key card with the Mercury symbol on it.
Probably.
I guess we can't get on then. Let's just disregard the elevators for now.
How about this hallway on the left?
Doors.
Whoa, there's so many doors.
They weren't sure how many, but certainly enough to be discouraging.
Damn it. If we try and search all these, the sun's gonna go down before we've done half of them.
I think the sun already set.
I have a feeling this ship is the only thing that's going to be going down anytime soon.
That's even worse.
Well, we can come back to this hallway later. Let's check the hallway on the other side, shall we?
Time to head back to the stairs.
To their right was a small hallway.
And now the right hallway.
Quickly, they headed into it. It was approximately the same size as the alcove in front of the stairs. The hallway led toward the stern, and at its end was a set of double doors.
There are doors here too. Well, I guess it's just 4 this time.
Let's open them.
All right, let's start with this one.
Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. He gave it a small tug and felt it move.
Huh, it isn't locked. I'm going to open it.
Thrilled to have found an unlocked door, he threw it open. Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw.
What?
He simply stood, unable to speak. The others simply stared, open-mouthed. After a few long moments, Santa managed to speak.
What the hell is this? This place is huge.
A massive room stretched out in front of them, more a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on the 4 companions. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of beds.
Oh, there are beds everywhere.
They were simple things, little more than pipe and thin mattresses.
Is this a
Cavern
hospital?
room, we're in a cave! He had at last been able to put a name to the harsh scent that pervaded the room.
It definitely has the smell.
Could be. I see medicine cabinets and surgical tools.
Hey, look there. The 4 doors at the end.
3, 7, and 8. 3 of them were emblazoned with large single-digit numbers made with thick red paint.
The left door says 3. The second door is blank, but the third has a 7.
Me remembering the cavern is just a word when it's too late.
And the rightmost door is 8.
Oh yeah, I gave a cooldown to some of my commands, so that's why We're in a Cave didn't proc for cavernous.
There's no doubt. They're numbered doors.
Why is the second door blank? That seems kind of strange, don't you think?
No point worrying about it right now.
That one
Let's see if
didn't,
these
though.
will open first.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan.
Yes, flood my chat with meow. Oh, you didn't type it out for cavernous? Oh, mobile! Okay, that might cause it. Junpei headed toward the doors, weaving his way between the beds. He started with door 3 on the left and moved to the right until he reached door 8.
Oh, it's no use.
Well, of course. If it was that easy to open these doors, what would be the point of the notary game? We have to activate the red, or the numbered doors won't... Wait a minute.
What's wrong?
Ah.
Look, the display on the red. There's nothing on it.
Huh?
Don't you remember? The red at the central staircase? If no one was inside, it said vacant.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But this one,
There's nothing on it.
right?
I wonder if it's broken.
Only one way to find out.
I don't edit my VODs, Jumpy. Unfortunately, it stays. We're in a cavernous room!
It's not responding.
All four took turns placing their hands over the red, but it refused to respond. They pulled at the lever, and still it did nothing. As they soon discovered, it wasn't only the red for door number 8 that was behaving strangely.
How about the red on door 7? And door 3?
None of them are working.
What does it mean?
I knew it. They're broken. Zero sure sucks at maintenance.
No, that's impossible. You really think Zero, who prepared all of this, would make such a stupid, simple mistake?
Maybe, but that doesn't explain why this thing ain't working.
Has anyone seen Goblin Slayer? I turn Persona-thon off when I'm not playing a Persona game. Same with Summer Sona, which both proc it.
I believe the bottom of the device has been removed.
Snake!
Snake!
But it was more than just Snake. Hello, Ace. Hi, Seven. Hi,
Ace,
Clover.
7!
Although they were glad to see one another, it wasn't terribly surprising that they had. If it had been the other party who'd opened the gate in the front of the kitchen, it wasn't unreasonable that they'd bump into one another eventually. The rest of Snake's team, however, did look rather surprised.
How?
How did you end up here?
That's my line?
Perhaps we should exchange information.
After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through and how they'd ended up in the same place. I play a lot of Persona. Right now, I do. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. They were happy to simply see one another again. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of a smile. Almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the ninth man. No, thought Junpei. Perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another. Not in a morbid or hateful way, no. Ninth man had died. They were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. When do you think you'll play Persona again on your own time once you finish Persona-thon? A while. It'll be a while. Sort of simple, uncomplicated joy, Junpei thought. The joy of being alive. Still alive. Felt sorry for the ninth man. More than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive.
There you have it. Our half of the story.
Well, I just like in general when I play a Persona game, even if I had spaced them out, it's not like I would play them imminently. You know? Like play them over again imminently. It's, you know? His part finished, Ace fell silent. For a moment, Junpei was silent in thought. Then he spoke.
Okay, let me see if I got all this straight. When you guys got here, the bases for the Reds were already gone.
And you looked all over this room, but you couldn't find anything.
So you figured...
Oops, I clicked off the game. I didn't mean to do that. Give me a second.
Bet there might be something in the hallway with all the doors.
I did not mean to click off.
So you went and had a look?
I just wanted to move a bowl over because I'm done eating.
Yeah.
And while you were looking around, you heard voices.
Uh-huh. So you followed the voices and came back here.
Indeed. And that was how we found you.
Bowl? Yes, I had noodles.
Why don't we check those 3 reds again, just in case?
You've never heard of a soup plate? I was not gonna eat noodles with a soup plate. Jumpy.
You're right. Huh. There's a long, thin gap on the bottom. I think it's a slot for something. Probably electronic.
Well, this isn't good. If the red is inactive, we can't keep going.
It was like a stir fry with, stew beef and, broccoli.
Well, what about that hallway over there? Isn't there anywhere else we can go?
No, there isn't. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else.
It is.
Hospital
it was.
rooms. That's what's behind all those doors?
Yes. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one.
There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked.
There was an astrological symbol engraved near the keyhole, however. I was able to get a good feel of it. I believe it was the symbol of Jupiter.
Not again. Those goddamn things are everywhere.
I wonder what they all mean.
For a moment, everyone was silent, deep in thought.
While we're asking what things mean, what's the deal with this room? I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this.
Of all people, it was Seven who answered, and with calm confidence.
Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Chances are it's the Gigantic.
The Gigantic?
Junpei looked confused. So did everyone else.
What is this gigantic?
Seven knit his brows for a moment, then began to explain.
The Gigantic. She was a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century. Actually, the Titanic had 2 sister ships, and they looked exactly the same. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. They intended to make her a passenger liner like the Titanic, but World War I began soon after the ship launched. The British Navy took her over and made her a hospital ship. At some point during the war, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She ran aground afterwards, so she didn't end up sunk. What happened to her after that? One theory going around is that a man named Lord Gourdane bought her. Seemed like he'd been one of the few to survive the Titanic sinking. That trauma turned him into some kind of obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. Soon enough, the guy wanted the Titanic itself. Which was impossible, of course. It's stuck at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. But the Gigantic wasn't. And seeing as she was identical...
So you're saying this Lord Gourdane bought this ship?
Yeah, at least I think I am.
That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old.
Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof?
Proof?
Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic.
Well, this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So, I just figured...
Oh, for goodness. Don't tell me that's your only reason.
No, I've got more.
Like?
Well, I mean...
Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. She is very intimidating, despite being a whole head shorter than you, so I don't blame you. He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth.
I don't know.
Lotus sighed and shook her head.
I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Hey, whoa, wait a minute. Memory isn't back?
Junpei was. He felt legitimately shocked by what seemed to be new and very important information. Everyone else, however, seemed unimpressed. In fact, they all looked at Junpei as though he had said something very strange.
Yeah?
Your point being?
He decided to revise his attitude for the next question.
Wait, was I the only one that didn't know?
Everyone nodded.
Why?
Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't tell you, huh? I told the rest of them before we ran into you on the stairs. I told them I couldn't remember a damn thing from before I woke up.
What?
Then, almost as if to save Junpei from further embarrassment, Ninth Man took that info to his grave. We weren't able to share more information because somebody decided to go through a numbered door by themselves. A bell began to ring from far away.
Huh. A bell.
It sounds like the clock in the main stairway.
Junpei counted each chime carefully.
10, 11, 12. Huh, 12.
It's midnight.
Then we've still got 6 hours left, right?
Or noon.
We don't have any time to screw around. Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
We've looked everywhere in this room. That only leaves one place to look.
Yeah, when he was screaming, he did it. He is the one who killed me. He killed me! Oh my god, there's no time left! He was talking about 7, yes, definitely he was talking about 7.
1?
Well, not just one.
That's not really right. Yeah, it isn't. You didn't say the right thing, 7.
Wait. Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of the other rooms.
Don't freak out. We've already searched 4 of them.
I got you now, Ninth Man.
4 rooms?
We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each of us can do 6 rooms apiece, we'll have the other 48 rooms cleared in no time.
There are 48 other rooms?
Her earlier experiences had apparently not encouraged Lotus to trust 7. 7 scratched his head awkwardly.
Maybe?
Maybe? Maybe.
Alright, so everyone knows which area they're searching?
Yeah.
Yes!
Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft.
We'll all meet up when the clock goes off again. How about in that room with all the beds?
Yeah. Sounds straightforward enough.
I'll shout if I find any of the components we need.
I hope we can find them within the time limit.
If we can't, then we'll just have to come up with another plan.
Right.
Then let's do this.
The details decided, they left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each to the rooms they'd been assigned. However, from far away, Junpei heard the bell ring. It did so only once. It was 1 a.m. or p.m., we don't really know.
It's 1. I better get back to the others.
Nice, Jumpy! Congrats! He jogged through the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there.
Huh?
Ace, Santa, Clover, June, 7, and Lotus. They had gathered in front of door number 8. Or perhaps to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to door number 8.
What are they doing over there?
Had one of them found the missing piece?
What
Well,
happened,
you're
guys?
Okay. It was June who answered him as I go to let my dog out.
Jumpy, look!
So upset. She was pointing at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. Immediately, he knew what she had meant.
Vacant?
Junpei sighed.
Come on, guys, who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it.
Well,
Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. The others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut.
What the hell? What is up with you guys?
They all knew something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know.
You don't know?
When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red.
What? Let me see.
Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again, just to make sure. The slot that had been open on the bottom was now covered with metal.
You're right. It's in there. What about the other two?
They're the same.
Let me take a look.
Junpei quickly examined the other two boxes.
It's just as you said.
Satisfied that they were also repaired, but still very confused, he returned to the others.
All right, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here, right?
Correct.
none.
Ace and June nodded silently. Seven raised his hands as if to say, "Not me," and Santa just shrugged. Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing.
Huh. Wait a minute.
That was when he noticed.
Where's Snake?
Junpei swept his eyes across the room a second time, but Snake was nowhere to be seen.
Does that mean that he found them?
I've no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, but nothing to suggest he didn't either.
I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask him in person.
Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to?
Maybe he's lost.
Yeah, well, that seems likely. Dude can't see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place.
Clover raised her head.
No! That's impossible!
She also apparently slapped the door or something. Suddenly she was shouting.
Yeah, my brother's blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone who can see. So he couldn't get lost. That's impossible!
Clover had started to shake, and the knuckles of her hands had gone white. She spun around, but before she did, Junpei noticed tears welling up in her eyes.
I'm gonna go look for him!
Words were barely out of her mouth when she began to run.
Hey, hold on, Clover. Wait!
Junpei cried out to her, but he was too slow. What are you doing? She's so upset. Come here. She kept going, and before anyone else could react, she was gone.
Well, that didn't work. Damn it. What should we do now?
Well, the red is working now.
No! We're not leaving two people behind! We should go look for them!
So I don't think there's any combination of people that would work. That would only not leave 2 and 4. Like, I don't think there's any combination that would only leave those two if we didn't bring those two.
Oh man, this ain't good.
Oh, yes, what an excellent idea. We just wasted a bunch of time looking for some piece of electronic junk. Now let's waste some more by looking for a couple of idiots.
Then remain here if you feel you must, but there's no time. We've only 5 hours left.
Junpei and the others nodded to one another and took off at a run. In front of the stairs that led to B deck, they decided to split up.
Let's split up.
All right, I'll take this direction.
Then I shall look that way.
I'll be over here.
See you all later.
Soon, only 2 of them were left. Those 2 were Junpei and June, who had been a few steps behind the others.
All right, we should go too.
Yes, let's go! But where should we start?
Let's see.
Let's just go down the line.
How about the casino on B deck?
Okay, let's go, Jumpy.
They took off up the stairs at a run. Before they knew it, they were there. So was Lotus. She was leaning against the wall, examining her nails.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
She glanced up at him, unimpressed.
Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for Snake.
I'm just not seeing it.
Really? Maybe you need to look harder.
I don't think that's the problem.
Oh, by the way, I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it?
What is
Sure.
it?
Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it.
We'll just talk to everyone. Cause I did this once, and I was like, yeah, it's really annoying to go back and have to talk to everyone, so I'll just talk to everyone.
Why don't we team up?
Team up?
Yeah. What? You need me to explain it to you? I'm saying, why don't we go through a numbered door?
Even if we wanted to, that's impossible.
Why?
Jumpy's bracelet number is 5, mine is 6, and yours is 8. Our digital root would be 1.
5 plus 6 plus 8 equals 19. 1 plus 9 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1.
But there's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors there are 3, 7, and 8.
Then we add another person.
Huh?
Who?
What? Isn't that easy? 7.
Oh, if we add 7, 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7 equals 26. The digital root of 26, 2 plus 6 equals 8.
Then the 4 of them could go through the number 8 door.
Wait a
But-
minute. What about the other 4? Ace, Snake, Santa, and Clover.
4, 2, 3, 4. Or, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, why don't you add them up?
That was simple
1
enough.
plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. And 1 plus 0 equals 1. The digital root for those 4 would be 1.
That's right.
And you know the number 1 door isn't in the big hospital room, right?
Of course I know that.
No! Are you saying you'd leave them behind?
Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am? Once we get off the ship, we could come back and rescue them, couldn't we? Then we wouldn't really be leaving them behind.
Don't try to lie to us. I don't think you do anything of the sort.
Really? Why do you think that?
You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left. Even if we manage to escape, there's no way we could come back to rescue them in less than 5 hours.
Well, you never know until you try.
No, you're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off the ship. The 4 of us couldn't open door 9. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Yeah, that's right. The digital root for the 4 of us would be 8, so we'd have to add Ace to make 9.
That's right. Unless we bring Ace too, we'll be stuck.
Lotus scratched the back of her ear.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
Unfortunate. That's all you have to say?
She didn't sound particularly bothered by what Junpei said. Nor did she seem particularly surprised.
Well, let's try and find another way, okay? A way to get out of here with all 8 of us.
That's impossible. Are you being serious? And you do know that only 5 people, at most, can go through one of the numbered doors, right? The number 9 isn't going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind.
Huh?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
The moment he said it, Junpei felt a chill run down his spine.
No. Wait just a second. You're skipping over a really big detail.
Yes, what she said was true, but how Lotus could remain cavalier about so terrifying a prospect was beyond him.
Is that really okay? That means 3 people will die in the end. Are you okay with that? That's just...
Lotus's forehead furrowed.
You think I could have a moment alone? There are some things I need to think about.
Junpei and June turned and began walking away from Lotus.
That didn't turn out to be a very pleasant conversation.
Yeah.
Junpei's heart felt heavy, and his steps sluggish. But he told himself pessimism would get them nowhere.
Well, regardless,
So he forced himself to smile and turned to June.
let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay?
Yes, you're right. We can think about those other things later.
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
All right. Where should we go next?
First class
Let's
cabin.
go take a look at the first class cabin. It's really close.
They turned around and took off down the hallway to their left. Outside of the first class cabin, they found Clover. She was standing in front of the wall. She was staring at a meaningless point on the wall, her eyes blank. What should Junpei do? I will talk to her.
Are you all right?
He did his best to sound friendly, but Clover didn't respond.
Look, I know you're really worried, but...
He could think of no words to say that didn't sound hollow and fake. Junpei hesitated. Clover was so consumed by worry and fear that Junpei feared it would crush her. Her actions didn't surprise him. She had suddenly lost her brother, who she seemed to have been very close to.
Alone.
Her voice was thin and barely audible.
Alone.
Hmm?
Alone. I said leave me alone!
Suddenly, she was screaming.
You're so annoying! Just go away and leave me alone! Just looking at you guys is pissing me off! Go away, okay? Just go somewhere else! Stop bothering me!
Junpei was taken aback. Such anger and hate. June's eyes had gone wide with surprise as well.
Why are you still here? Didn't you hear me?
Huh?
Fine, forget it. If you aren't gonna leave, then I'll just...
All right. Let's go, June.
Yeah.
That went well. They turned and left Clover. As they did, Junpei glanced back over his shoulder to see Clover wiping tears from her face. Clover had driven home the misery of their situation, but Junpei told himself that getting depressed would not get him... that getting depressed would get him nowhere but depressed.
We really need to find Snake, for Clover's sake.
He did his best to push away the misery and depression and forced a smile.
So, where do you think we should go next?
We've gone to the casino... So... hallway.
Hey, why don't we go back to C-Deck? We can take a look at that hallway with all the rooms.
Okay, let's get going then.
Together, they ran down the stairs.
Oh, it's Ace.
Ahead of them, farther down the hallway, they spotted Ace.
Hey, Snake! Where are you? Answer me if you're there!
What should Junpei do?
Let's go.
With June in tow, Junpei jogged up to Ace. Hearing their footsteps, he turned to greet them.
Ah, hello there. Snake is... well, that's obvious, isn't it? I assume you haven't found him yet?
Yeah, doesn't seem like you're having any luck either.
I really wonder where he could have gone.
Well, wherever he's disappeared to, we must find him as quickly as we can. For Clover's sake.
Right.
June's face looked kinda enraptured.
By the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings?
Why would you say that?
Why would you say that? The question seemed somehow odd to Junpei.
Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They don't look alike at all.
Ace looked at him for a moment and then spoke.
Yes, now that you mention it, they don't.
Now that you mention it?
Still, there are a great many siblings who do not look like one another. It certainly isn't rare.
Junpei wasn't sure why, or even if he was seeing what he thought he was, but he could have sworn that Ace's face tightened as he spoke.
At any rate, we really must find Snake as soon as possible. The clock is ticking. We really can't afford to waste any time. Very well. Let's get back to the search, shall we? You can leave this area to me.
All right. Let's go, Jumpy.
At June's urging, they left. They found themselves back at the stairs, but Junpei's mind was in turmoil.
Something about that was... I'll think on it later. Like Ace said, finding Snake is our top priority.
Junpei did his best to clear his mind.
All right, where should we go next?
Hospital room.
Why don't we go back to the big hospital room?
Okay, let's go then.
They turned and headed back toward the large hospital room.
Hey, wait, that's...
On their way to the large hospital room, Junpei and June noticed Santa standing next to the number 3 door.
Santa?
Junpei paused. What should Junpei do? He should talk to him. Junpei and June walked up to Santa. Yes, hello, how are you doing there, Santa?
What are you doing?
What? You can't tell? I'm checking out the red.
Why? Is there something bothering you?
What? It's not bothering you?
Huh?
The guts of this red. Why wouldn't you wonder who the hell put it back in here?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm curious too, but...
Who do you think did it?
Santa's eyes narrowed as he looked at June. She shook her head.
I don't know.
Well, what about you, Junpei? Who do you think fixed this thing for us?
Zero.
I think it was probably Zero.
Why?
Isn't that obvious? He's the guy who set this whole thing up.
You don't think that should mean the opposite? Seems to me like that means he didn't do it. I mean, who do you think took that stuff out in the first place?
Probably Zero.
Yeah, exactly. And why the hell would he put him back in after he'd taken them out himself? It just doesn't make sense. Why do all that work?
Huh. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So, what happened then? Who put that stuff back in the Reds?
Junpei furrowed his brow.
So, in other words, one of us is the person who fixed the red.
Santa grinned.
Bingo! We have a winner.
But if that's true, then the person who did it doesn't want the rest of us to know that they fixed it.
Yeah,
But why?
no idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'd find out something else. Something bad.
Something bad?
Dunno. But whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding. Of course, it could have something to do with Snake's disappearance.
You think maybe they did something to Snake?
Yeah.
Junpei stared at Santa. There was something about him that made Junpei wary. At first, he'd assumed the other man wasn't terribly clever, but Junpei was beginning to think he would need to reevaluate that assessment. When Santa spoke again, his voice was quiet.
Look, if you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose. You've gotta be careful. The person you trust the most could turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back.
With that depressing suggestion, he turned and quietly walked away.
And that's that, I guess.
Junpei and June looked at one another and smiled awkwardly. She doesn't look to be smiling. Where would they go next? Finish. We have looked everywhere. They looked everywhere they could think of, but Snake was nowhere to be found.
Snake hasn't been anywhere we've searched.
Lotus looked around at 6 frustrated faces and spoke.
And we can't keep looking for him. Wherever he is, it's not here. We need to get moving.
Junpei couldn't disagree with what she was saying. Snake seemed to have completely disappeared. There was no point to wasting any more time. The others seemed to be having similar thoughts, but they stayed silent. Finally, Seven spoke.
We don't got a choice. Lotus is right. We're not gonna find Snake. There's a problem, though. We've got to figure out who's gonna go through which door.
Yes, I have a proposal.
She walked back and forth across the floor, her heels clicking against the wood. My lights just flickered. Oh my god. That was frightening. I hope that isn't a sign that the power is about to go out. I'm gonna save. Let me open the menu, please. Rex is not a snake. Finally, she stopped.
Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice?
Sacrifice?
Well, perhaps that's a bit of a harsh word, but yes. You've all figured it out by now, haven't you? We can't all make it through those doors. If we split into 2 teams of 4 and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind. If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 people respectively, then 2 people will be left behind. But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind.
Leaving behind 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3? She was right. It wasn't pleasant, but she was right. There wasn't any way that the numbers worked out. If one group was 4, the other group would always have a digital route that didn't match a door. When Seven spoke, his voice was strained.
Then... you're saying we gotta decide who's gonna stay behind?
Yes, we do. Given our circumstances, it's logically and morally the best solution. If the other 6 are to survive, then 1 person has to sacrifice themselves.
No, that's too cruel!
What's so cruel about it?
To just sacrifice someone like that?
Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just 1.
That's not what I meant! We shouldn't sacrifice anyone!
I told you, that's impossible. Wake up.
Whoa, whoa, calm down, you 2.
Santa stepped between Lotus and June.
Look, what Lotus is trying to say is, you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right?
Exactly. That's how democracy works. And for that reason, I think the only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed is through a vote.
That's not a good idea.
What do you think?
No! That's terrible!
I'm not asking you. Shut up. What about you, Santa?
Me? Well, I agree, I guess.
I showed way more snakes than alligators. I showed 1 type of snake. At least 1 species of snake. 2 morphs. 4 specifically.
All right, that's 1 vote for. Counting mine, that's 2. 7.
I can't say I agree with you, but we don't exactly have a choice. If we don't do something, we're all gonna die.
Oh, glad to see you get it. If I can get 1 more vote, then it's decided. What about you, Clover?
Clover had moved away from the group and was sitting on one of the beds. Her whole body drooped. Junpei didn't know if she'd even heard Lotus's proposal.
Hey, Clover.
And it ate. Alligator ate nothing. Alligator eats all the time. Alligator gets fed pretty often, actually. Yeah, Hart unmuted himself because he was like, what did the mouse do? And it's like... the snake needed to eat. Lotus walked over to Clover and gently laid a hand on her shoulder. Also was frozen thawed.
your brother has to be behind one of the numbered doors. We've searched everywhere, but we didn't find him. Doesn't that mean he has to have gone through one of them somehow?
Clover slowly lifted her face.
Let's go look for him together, okay? If we sacrifice one person, then we can go look for him. You agree with me, right?
Okay.
Clover nodded once.
The motion carries.
Lotus spun around and walked toward Junpei.
Now, let's start a vote to...
That won't be necessary.
Ace had barely spoken for Lotus's entire speech, and everyone jumped a little. 6 pairs of eyes turned to look at him. He didn't seem to notice or even care.
I will stay. That should solve our problem, yes?
Ace, what are you saying? No, you can't do that. That won't solve anything.
June's voice shook, and she looked around desperately for someone to agree with her. Ace simply looked at her.
June, I'm afraid you may have misunderstood me. I said I would stay, but I never said I would sacrifice myself.
You're the one who has to be sacrificed.
Huh?
I trust you, each and every one of you. I believe you'll come back for me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's optimistic, and then there's just nuts. Those doors only go one way. You go in, you don't come out. If we go through them...
You won't be able to return, correct?
Yeah.
True, but that will not be the case once you've escaped from the ship.
What?
Please, I beg you. Once you've escaped, come back and rescue me. Ideally, within the time limit Zero has given us.
No, that's ridiculous. There's no way we could get back in time.
Finally, Junpei could hold his tongue no longer.
We've only got 5 hours left. We don't even know where the hell we are. How on earth are we gonna find someone to come and rescue you?
Then, perhaps you would prefer to stay instead of me? Or perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind?
Ace's voice was dignified, and without a hint of cruelty or malice. Yeah, Jumpy, there's no way we can go back in time. Where the hell is this jigsaw motherfucker? Well, I mean, we're on a boat that is sinking. Of course there's a time limit. Junpei had no rebuttal.
You see, there's no other choice. Then I see we've come to our conclusion.
We have 5 hours until this boat sinks.
Go on. Don't worry yourselves about me. Go, quickly.
Junpei stood frozen by indecision, unable to move. This stopped being Saw the second they mentioned morphogenetic fields. Not wrong. June bit her lip so hard that Junpei feared she would break the skin. Santa stood against a wall, calm and aloof. Seven tore his beanie from his head and turned it over anxiously in his hands. Only Clover stared at Ace, with an expression Junpei was unable to decipher. Lotus's attitude, however, was different from the others.
Good. Let's accept his kind offer, then.
She smiled, her eyes bright. Ace answered with a smile of his own.
Good. I think this is the best for me. Perhaps I'll be able to take a nap. It may be my age, but I get tired so easily these days.
As he spoke, Ace lowered himself down onto the floor next to one of the beds. Why the floor, dude? The bed's right there. I know it's not comfortable, but it's gotta be better than the floor. From somewhere deep in the ship, Junpei suddenly heard the screeching of metal on metal. It was almost as if the ship were screaming. Would it really hold until their time limit was up? Already, D-Deck was flooded. In the sudden silence, the only sound was the sad metal wail of the ship. Unsurprisingly, it was Lotus who spoke first.
Well, what are you waiting for? We're wasting time. Why don't we hurry it up?
As if a spell had been broken, the others all began to talk at once.
You're right. We should get going. That's all we can do right now.
7.
Seriously. Honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk.
You too, Santa? I have to find my brother.
Wait, all of you. Let's just calm down and think about this. There has to be a way to get everyone out. There has to be. Right, Jumpy? Say something.
Yeah, let's think. There's gotta be another way.
His words sounded hollow and fake.
Fine! Forget about it! I'll figure it out on my own.
Ooh. We do not know. We assume that there's some type of mechanism that Zero used. Like, you know, like when a ship gets damaged, there's like those gates that will keep a certain amount of water in, but they're not like entirely foolproof. Like, the thing is like, it's an interesting way with how the Titanic sunk, because the Titanic itself had those types of gates that were supposed to close if damage to the hull happened. They would block water out, and they'd be able to make an emergency stop and land before the ship could sink. But with the speed and how much, like, the iceberg tore into the side of the ship, those floodgates failed. But this is different. This is a manufactured, assuming from the start, explosion inside one of the compartments of the ship, so we're just kind of assuming that he's like, yeah, they have like roughly this amount of time. That or he's gonna be an asshole and open the doors. Yeah, it's a controlled sinking. Yeah, there's no current in the water, so it's not still coming in. This is a very, very mean situation that we've been put in, but it has been completely manufactured. He had slumped down next to the bed when June grabbed his arm and pulled.
Ace! Come on, Ace. Please stand up. You can't give up yet. We just have to sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we can all get out of here.
Then it happened. Oh, he fell over. Ace fell forward. He slumped over onto the wooden floor, his body folded in half like a boxer out cold.
Ace!
June cried out and dropped to her knees beside him. She put her arm around his neck and did her best to lift him up.
What happened? Ace, say something!
She shook him frantically. His eyes fluttered open.
I'm all right.
His voice was weak and slightly slurred.
How are you all right?
This.
He held out his left arm and slowly opened his hand.
A syringe?
In it was a syringe and a small vial. The vial was empty. It had only recently been emptied. A few drops clung to the sides. There was a label taped to the side of the container. It read Soparil Beta. Soparil Beta?
Soparil Beta. What does this do? Did you use this?
Yes. It's just anesthetic. I'll be fine.
Anesthetic?
I found it earlier, while we were searching the hospital rooms. I thought it might be useful later.
So I used it on myself.
I didn't think I'd be using it on myself.
Why did you do this?
Didn't I tell you? I'd like to take a nap. I really am very tired.
Junpei knew that wasn't why he'd done it. Ace had injected himself with anesthetic to forestall Junpei and June's attempts to bring him along. If he couldn't move, then there was nothing they could do. He'd injected himself so that they would be forced to leave him behind.
Ace!
Turn my fan down, it's cold in here.
Is there something you want to say? I just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down?
No, don't, Ace. Don't fall asleep.
Ah, you feel warm. So comfortable. I think I'll have a nice dream.
Ace's eyelids drooped further and further, almost as though he were dying. And then he fell asleep.
Ace! Ace!
Nap time! She just lets him go after that. Like, dang it. She shook his shoulder again and again. But this time he didn't respond. Only the gentle rising and falling of his chest told them he was alive. Junpei was relieved to see he was, in fact, still breathing.
Let's get him up on a bed.
Now, why did you sit on the floor, you weirdo? I'm gonna take a nap in this room full of beds. Sits on the floor. He lifted Ace up off the floor and laid him on the bed he'd been leaning against. When Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity.
Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste, right?
Like you even mean that.
You say something?
No.
No, nothing.
It felt wrong, but he had to agree. Then suddenly, Santa spoke.
Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we?
And then pushed them out the door at the last second. Cause then he'd be... Depending on which direction he pushed, he'd either die or they'd all die. Maybe he's more used to sleeping on the floor.
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door.
Ah, yes. Yes, that's true.
Enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want?
I want door number 8. It's the same number as my bracelet number.
Got it. You're 8. You're next, 7. Which one do you want?
I'll take 7. I can't get along with that old lady.
What? What did you just say?
Her face distorted by rage, Lotus took a step towards 7. He threw up his hands and made a face like a child caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Who, me? I didn't say nothing.
Oh, you're gonna get it next time.
She shot him a glare that would have melted steel, then turned and stalked off.
Alright, who's next?
Santa's gaze moved across the 3 people left. Finally, they stopped on Junpei.
Junpei, which door do you want?
At last. Junpei's mind was already made up. What door? What door, you guys? We'll go through them all eventually, but which one do you guys want first? What number are you feeling? He said, I'll take 7 like he was ordering a combo. That's true. I'll take the number 7. 3? Top to bottom. You wanna go top to bottom? Anybody else feeling different? You don't care? Okay.
I want to go through door number 3.
Nope, you can't.
Huh? Why?
Because it's impossible.
I have played this game before. I love this game. This is probably my favorite visual novel trilogy. The second one's and 3 is pretty okay, but I like the Zero Escape series a lot. And I like the sister series, I guess you could call it, to it. The Somnium Files. Damn it, game.
If we split ourselves into 3 and 3, then we give up on going through door 3.
Why?
The bracelet numbers for the 6 of us are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 2 combinations that can go through door 3 with 3 people. 3, 4, 5, or 6, 7, 8. That's it. Of course, 2 teams can't go through the same door.
I see. That means one team would get left behind.
That's right.
That doesn't happen if we go through door 7 or 8?
No, they're fine. We've got 3 options.
Santa began to explain.
Option A, have 3, 5, and 8 go through door 7, and 4, 6, 7 go through door 8. Option B, 4, 5, and 7 go through 7, and 3, 6, and 8 go through 8. Option C, 3, 6, and 7 go through 7, and 4, 5, and 8 get 8. Those are the only 3 options. That's it. At least if we want to get all 6 of us out of here.
Wait.
That was when Junpei realized. Plan A divides into 2 teams. Whoop, I didn't mean to do that. 3, 5, 8, and 4, 6, 7. Plan B divides into 2 teams. 4, 5, 7, and 3, 6, 8. Plan C divides into 2 teams. 3, 6, 7, and 4, 5, 8.
But that means...
There was one thing they all had in common.
5 and 6 can never be on the same team. If we want all 6 of us to go through a door, then June and I can't go into the same one.
June and Junpei had been friends when they were kids. He trusted her more than anyone else on the ship. If he chose 7 or 8, he'd be taken away from her. Was that something he was prepared to do?
Have you mulled it over enough, or do you need more time? Anyway, that's the deal, so think it over. You've got 2 choices, 7 or 8. You can't choose 3. If you choose 3, you're gonna be leaving 3 people behind to die. So what are you gonna do? 7 or 8? Time to choose.
Junpei thought hard. After thinking it over, his conclusion was... Do we double down? Nah, 7, okay.
Okay. Fine. I'll go with door 7.
Okay, 7 it is.
Yeah.
All right then. That means June's gotta go through 8.
Huh? Why?
June's face was blank and confused. It will piss everyone off if we double down. We've gone too far to turn back, and then we turn back! Yeah!
Ugh, Junpei, you figured it out, right? Can you explain it to her?
Okay, so, June, if we want all 6 of us to go through a door...
Junpei chose his words carefully. When Junpei finally finished, June looked as though she was about to cry.
Oh no. You're saying we aren't gonna see each other again for a long time.
Junpei felt just as June did. He wanted to be at her side through whatever trials they were preparing to face. But he knew if they were to survive, he had to swallow his feelings. In order for the 6 of them to move forward, he and June had to be separated. He looked at June. He was scared to lose her, but swallowed, steeled his resolve, and did his best to smile. Things
Hey,
made
come
her
on.
sad.
You're making it sound like we're never gonna see each other again. We gotta split up, but only for a while. This is just like when we went into the 4 and 5 doors, remember? We got split up then too, but we all met back up. I'll bet 7 and 8 are just like that.
You mean they're connected somewhere?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
She didn't sound very hopeful. It was 7 that interjected.
I'm sure they're gonna connect somewhere.
Why? What makes you think so?
If they don't, then neither team can get through door 9. In other words, the game would end right here. Zero's been on top of his shit so far. I don't think he'd blow it now. I'm damn sure that son of a bitch wants to have his fun as long as possible.
Does this game have multiple endings? This game has many endings. This game has... many endings. But the best thing... I mean, it doesn't have as many as the second or third game, but yeah, it's got about 6. But there's something about this game, where it's like, trust me. We're gonna get all the endings. Mostly because, yeah.
He's not gonna end this game until we get through the 9 door.
June said nothing. The tears were gone, but her eyes were still sad as they looked at Junpei. He met them, and with what reassurance he could manage, laid his hand gently on her shoulder.
Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna see each other again. I promise.
June bit her lip and gave him an almost imperceptible nod.
Yes. Promise?
Promise. Her voice was barely above a whisper. Santa's voice shattered the moment.
You guys are done, right?
You are... you... He stretched and continued.
Anyway, that's pretty much it. Clover and I will both go into separate groups. I figure I'll take 8 and Clover can take 7. Any problems with that, Clover?
Clover looked away and was silent for a moment.
Whatever.
It was more of a dismissal than an agreement, but Santa didn't seem to care.
All right, we're ready to go then. Let's move.
At Santa's command, the group split and headed for their respective doors. My favorite. Except that's not an ending in this game. Except that's not an ending! The dog ending. Since you haven't seen much of this game, who's best girl? The developers seem to think it's Clover. And according to Junpei, the main character, it's June. You're laughing at the question worries me. You should be worried. Clover, 7, and Junpei walk toward door 7. Santa, Lotus, and June headed for door 8. For a long moment, they stood in front of the door. Who's Akane? Akane is June. 7 took a deep breath.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
It's open.
No love for Lotus. It's fine. Lotus is cool, but there are a couple of things that keep that from being a whatever. A narrow hallway stretched out before them. 7 and Clover leapt through the door.
Let's do this!
Hurry!
The moment they did, their bracelets beeped. The detonators and the bracelets had been activated. Junpei stepped forward to follow them. But as he was about to step over the threshold, he stopped. He looked to his right. Toward door 8. June stood there, a mirror image of Junpei. She turned and looked toward him. Their eyes met. They nodded.
June.
Jumpy.
Their farewell took almost 1.5 seconds.
What the hell are you doing, Junpei?
Then someone took hold of Junpei's arms and hauled him bodily through the door. He heard the sound of the numbered door slam shut behind him. His bracelet gave a cold electronic beep.
Only 81 seconds left! No time to waste, guys! Let's get moving!
7 led the way down the hallway. Junpei and Clover followed him as fast as they could. After what seemed like far more than 81 seconds, they reached the end of the hall.
Look! The door on the left! I can see the dead!
There was no time to rest or catch their breath. All three slammed their hands in quick succession over the scanner panel on the dead. Still trying to catch his breath, Seven leaned heavily against the wall.
It stopped. It stopped.
His smile seemed forced and a little crooked.
This is the second time we've gone through one of these numbered doors, but... Whew. You never really get used to it.
He stood up straight, no longer out of breath, and wiped some of the sweat from his head and neck. Clover smirked at him.
I would have thought a guy your size would have bigger balls than that.
Ooh.
What? What the hell did you just say? Say it again! I dare you!
You have no...
You little... You wanna die?
I'd like to see you try.
She's mad!
You fucking brat! Alright, let's go!
Hey, calm down, guys. This isn't the time for this. It's not gonna do us any good.
Why are you blowing my dog? Everyone is so angry. Well, Clover doesn't know where her brother is, and Seven is just Seven. Oops. Junpei sighed. Sometimes he wondered if the doors and the puzzles were really the greatest challenge they faced.
Wait here for a minute, alright? I'm gonna go see if there are any other doors.
They didn't respond, but Junpei wasn't in the mood for a conversation anyway.
We just came through this door. And of course it's shut tight. There's a short hallway on the left here. And an iron wall. I doubt I can get through it.
Yeah, it's nice. On the original, on the DS, they were sprites. They were still very detailed, and they did also all have those animations. Switching to the drawings, the drawn style, I think is a nice touch, though. It's, you know. And then every game after that goes 3D. This is the PC version. Part of a duology, I suppose. Called The Nonary Games, which contains both Zero Escape 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, which is the game that we are currently playing, and Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward. The third game of the series is called Zero Time Dilemma, but it's not part of the Nonary Games because it doesn't focus as much on the number 9 as the first two do. But the original 999 was on the DS, and I believe Virtue's Last Reward was on the Vita? And then Zero Time Dilemma was on the Vita, the 3DS, and on Steam all at about the same time. At last he gave up and returned to Seven, who was tapping lightly on the wooden door.
This door's the only option we've got, right?
Yeah, looks like it.
Hey, something's written on the door.
Yeah, VLR was on the Vita as a standalone, and then when it appeared on the Nonary Games, the Nonary Games duology, where Steam, PS4, and, was it also on the Vita? Or is it just only Steam and PS4?
On that iron plate.
I do not remember. All I know is that when they first... Oh, you just said, so it is all... It did reappear again on the Vita. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
It says operating room. If this thing's telling the truth, there could be body parts inside here.
Cool.
Well, this is probably not going to be pleasant.
Okay, never mind. It's not cool. Read the room wrong. Something about it made Junpei feel nervous.
Well, there's no point to standing around. Might as well go in and see what's waiting for us.
Seven grabbed the brass knob and slowly opened the door. You'd have no way of playing it if it wasn't. Fair. You were correct. The creak of the hinge sounded like the groan of an old woman. That's an odd comparison, but okay, whatever. Whatever, Junpei.
What's wrong?
No, it's nothing.
I just hate the sound of groaning. A chill snaked its way down Junpei's spine.
Let's just go.
Quickly, he gathered what courage he could and took the first step into the room. Seven followed, with Clover right behind him.
Huh?
Part of the room just past the door was obscured by a screen.
What the hell is this?
Why don't we take a look?
Hey, Clover!
Clover's curiosity got the better of her, and she darted past Junpei to peer around the screen. Her scream nearly blew out Junpei's eardrums.
What?
Clover!
He and Seven ran toward Clover to see what had frightened her.
Hey, what's wrong?
They rounded the screen, and the cause of her outburst was immediately clear.
What the hell is this?
Oh, did it die today? I knew it was going to, because they announced it a little while back, but...
Is this a corpse?
Goodbye, Google Stadia. I never used you at all. It was something that looked kind of like a human lying across some sort of bed. No, not a bed. An operating table. The table sat on a rusty steel lift, and a cluster of bright operating lights shone down on it from the ceiling.
We should probably take a closer look.
Yeah.
Slowly, they approached. As they got closer to the body, it became clear that it wasn't a body at all.
This is...
What the hell? That's just a huge doll or something.
Doll?
Clover did not look terribly comforted. Slowly, she approached the operating table and looked as intently as possible, from as far away as possible, at the thing. Junpei could see her relax.
You're right. It's only a doll. Man, it really scared me.
She heaved a great sigh of relief and wiped a few drops of sweat from her forehead. Seven smirked.
Well, I guess it would have been weird if you actually had any balls.
He's still stuck on that.
Shut it! Don't you start with me, fatty.
Oh, what's this? You want a piece of me, short stuff?
Yeah, bring it on, you whale!
My god, they're so angry at each other.
Hey, guys, not again, okay? Seriously, knock it off. Jeez. Anyway, it looks like he's got something the two of you could stand to have a little more of. I'm talking about a heart.
Huh? Oh, this? You mean on his chest?
Yeah.
It was set a little higher than normal for a human body, but from the shape of the organ, there could be no doubt that it was a heart.
Why would there be a heart in a doll?
I don't think it's a doll.
You think maybe it's like a medical mannequin or something?
Or maybe it's got more personal uses?
Seven, no. Seven's grin was more than a little perverted. Clover glared at him.
Anyway, how about we take a look around this place? Let's go.
Okay.
Sure thing.
This is a very large room. Okay. I'm gonna save right here, though, because a lot of ratings has happened. We'll keep going, though. Well, may as well start with him. These dolls are really kind of creepy, you know. Hey, it says something here. John? You think that's this doll's name? Maybe? This thing is creepy. Wonder why it's on the bed. The creepy medical mannequin is lying on the bed. Apparently, his name is John. Hello, John. John is just lying there. An operating table. Do you think old operating tables looked like this? I have no idea. It's an old operating table. The medical mannequin is lying on it. Hey, I wonder what this thing is. It says kg on the display. Think maybe it's a scale? Huh? Some sort of lid on this thing. Why don't you try opening it? Can't. No handle. Can't get under it with my nails either. There's something that looks like it could be a scale next to the operating table. It has something that looks like a lid on the front of it. Okay. A white cloth. Amazing. Alright, well, we'll go this way. A medical mannequin with its guts showing. Ew. Gross. Hey, Junpei. There's a slit in this thing's chest. Yeah, sure is. Something in there. Maybe we can get it out. Damn it. This stinking thing won't budge. It's stuck. Well, I guess we can't use force on this one then. We need something small that can fit into that little hole. An internal organ, specifically a lung. You can see this thing's internal organs. If we had something that could fit into those cracks, maybe we could take out some of the internal organs. The table that the mannequin is sitting on. It's a great table. Just a wooden partition. Nothing special about it. Okay, a simple wooden partition. It separates the hallway from the operating room. That's a lot of surgery stuff. There's some scalpels, a few pairs of forceps, and a couple of syringes. All of it's too rusty to be useful, though. Hey, there's a scalpel here that looks new. I'll take it. It's got some stuff on it. Scalpel that's not rusty. Amazing. Seems like it was put here for a reason, huh? You think it's telling us to cut something? Yeah, I do. That's a scalpel. Probably got something soft with it. What about 7? He looks more like a scalper. You guys are jerks. A sharp scalpel. I can probably cut things with this, just not anything that's too tough. Okay. Ooh. Oh, okay, fine. A table with a scalpel and forceps. They're all rusty, though. Don't think they'll be real useful. You don't... that. Junpei, where are you going? That's the door we came through. The only thing out there is the numbered door. Pretty sure I don't need to tell you that the numbered door is a one-way deal. So... you're saying there's no point to going back there, huh? And they're nodding. Awesome! Looks like it's locked. Guess we're gonna need a key for this one. It's locked. We can probably find the key if we just look some more. Let's look somewhere else. There are a whole bunch of bottles on the shelves. They all look like medicine. They've got labels, but they're all big medical words that I don't understand. There's a lot of medicine. Or that's a lot of medicine. Wonder if one of these is a laxative. Yeah, it sounds kind of gross, but I'm pretty sure every one of us has had the same idea. If we had some laxatives, maybe we could crap out the bombs Zero put in us. Well, unfortunately... God damn it. I don't know what medicine does what here. The shelves are packed with bottles of medicine I can't identify. There's a lot of different kinds of medication. It's hard to tell them apart. The drawer is empty. Yeah, nothing there. There's nothing on the lower shelf. Maybe you're supposed to heat something like that gauze to kill the bacteria. There's a boiling thingy over there. There's nothing on the lid or in the drawers. A thing for boiling tools to sterilize them. There's nothing in the drawer. Fake chest. Ew, that's gross. This is the chest. It's a woman's chest. The heart's gone, but it's pretty hot. If that kind of thing turns you on, Seven, you're a real creepo. The chest of a medical mannequin. There's a hole in the left side of the chest. What the fuck, Seven? Oh, it's okay. At least it's not, you know, a real body. What's this thing? It's got these short iron legs. Maybe it's a heater? There's nothing inside it. Looks like it's probably a heater. There's nothing in it. There's a pipe going outside. There's a pipe going outside. Hey, I know. Let's go through that pipe and escape. Good dear God, what would he say about an actual cadaver? I don't think he would say anything. I was just thinking, well, hey, at least we're not handling actual body parts. Are you nuts? What the hell is wrong with you? Junpei, are you flexible like an octopus or something? I have no bones. Since we're not octopi, we can't go through that. They use these for surgery, right? Let's see. Syringes, cups, a plate. There's a sort of scissorish thingy. Kosher forceps. Are those scissors? They look kind of funny. No, that's probably a pair of kosher forceps. Kosher forceps? Whatever. Surgeons use them during operations. They can hold blood vessels shut and keep tissue out of the way. You can use it to pull stuff out of small holes or something like that. Cool. They can fit into small holes and stuff. Anyway, a bunch of surgical tools. That's a lot of tools. A bunch of surgical tools. None of them look very useful. Kosher forceps are ones used. Shut up. There's some kind of device attached to the bed. It says KG on the panel. Is this a scale? This bed doesn't look very comfortable. An old hard bed. Another medical mannequin? From the looks of it, this one's chick. She has a name too. Lucy. Poor thing. Looks like Miss Lucy only has a head and a left arm. Maybe we're supposed to gather all her parts? We have one of them. Oh, we have to gather them all. Okay, bye, Lucy. BRB. Oh, wait, it's a fake organ. So we took the organ thingy out of the chest thingy. It's a lung, not an organ thingy. Huh? This part here on the back, it's all rubbery. Right. So, it's a fake organ. Of course it'd be- wait, what's Seven grabbing it for? Hey, feels like there's something in here. You think we can cut through the rubber part? Okay. Clover, ever the scientific mind, yes. Let's Let's try cutting this organ with a scalpel. Organ key. There's a key in this organ. Found a key and an internal organ. Oh wait, let me look at it some more. No, okay, nobody has anything to say about it. Cool, it's unlocked. Whoa, there's a light bulb illuminating the room. 'Cause it's an escape room, ta-da! Let's see if... Huh, piece of paper. What's this? I hope the organ key can play a B note. Is this some kind of medical record? New material has been added to the file screen. Got it. Cabinet with a drawer in it. Amazing. What the hell are you doing? Don't you want to get out of here? But I'm tired. There's a long chair in the corner of the room. It's locked. It won't even budge. Do you think this is the exit? There's a lock on the door. The key I've got won't open it. I found a beaker. It's an empty beaker. Whoa. There's a ray of light going through the beaker. And it's hitting the thing on the right. The white light on the top is glowing. Yeah, but the red, blue, and purple ones still aren't lit. There are 4 different lights, each one a different color. White, red, blue, and purple. Does this thing react to something and then the lights light up? Nothing else to say about it? Okay. A sink. The doctors and nurses probably washed their hands here before an operation. After calling everything else a thingy. Nothing suspicious here. A sink. Doesn't look suspicious. It won't open. It looks like it's locked. There's a red plate on it. Do you think that means something? You think that means something? Yeah. Guessing this one's locked too? Damn. It's not opening. Locked, of course. The blue plate on here seems a little suspicious, though. Damn. It's not opening. It won't even budge. It's got this purple plate on it, too. That sink is not suspicious. Awesome! It's unlocked! Whoa! What's this? Looks like a can with a spray nozzle. It says CO2. So it's a can filled with carbon dioxide. The label says CO2. Hey, Junpei! There's dihydrogen monoxide on the shelf! Why don't you just say water? There's a bottle of water on the shelf. The label says H2O. Something stinks. Is it coming from this bottle? It says NH3. Well, that of course stinks. It's ammonia. There's a bottle of ammonia on the shelf. It says NH3 on it. Oh, good stuff! Let's go for a drink. What are you talking about? I'm talking about that bottle. It says C2H5OH, right? Everyone who consumes dihydrogen monoxide eventually dies. It's ethanol. That's right. It's also known as ethyl alcohol. It's pretty much what booze is made of. So... you're gonna drink it. Nah, I won't. It might say that's what it is on the label, but there could be anything in there. Okay. There's a bottle of ethanol on the shelf. Junpei, there's a bottle of iron powder on the shelf. How do you know it's iron? The label says Fe. Fe stands for iron, right? Hey, Junpei, you think there are any slugs on this ship? Huh? Well, if there are, I was thinking we could put salt on them. What's she pointing at? The label states NaCl. Salt, huh? Do you think Seven will shrivel up if we put it on him? Hey. You say something? There's a bottle of salt on the shelf. Oh god, what's the solution to this? I'm gonna grab these though. Red liquid. Looks like there's something inside that bottle. Why don't you try pouring some out into the cap? Can't see any reason why not. What's that? It's bright red. You never took chemistry in school? Oh. Do you think it's blood? No, blood's thicker than that. Then what is it? Beats me. It's a bottle full of red liquid. We don't know. Blue liquid. It looks like there's something inside that bottle. Why don't you try pouring some out into the cap? Can't see any reason why not. What's that? It's bright blue. Do you think it's alien blood? Where the hell did that come from? Then what do you think it is? Then what do you think it is, Seven? I don't know. Some sort of special bath soap? Has to be careful eating his fries. Oh, what a boring guess. Bottle with blue liquid in it. There's a note on top of the table. Iron 1, salt 2, water 3, carbon dioxide, question mark, ammonia, question mark, ethanol, question mark. What do you think this is a hint for? Maybe it's got something to do with this box. This thing won't open. Is it locked? You probably need to put in a passcode. I mean, geez, they've even got a keypad on there. How much more obvious can you get? You can only enter 3 numbers. E's for enter and C's for clear. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so carbon dioxide, ammonia, and ethanol. Well, look at the first line. Maybe question mark represents a number. Yeah, I know. Ammonia is made of 1 nitrogen atom, 3 hydrogen atoms. Okay, so 4? So something for something. H must mean hot, and O probably stands for orphans. So H2O must be made of orphans. 7, what the fuck? 7. Is your head okay? C is for carbon and O is for oxygen. So carbon dioxide is made up of 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atoms. So 3, 4, 1 atom. Na is sodium and Cl is chloride. So salt is made up of 1 sodium and 1 chloride. C is carbon, H is hydrogen, and O is oxygen. So basically, ethanol is made of 2 carbon atoms, 6 hydrogen atoms, and 1 oxygen atom. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9. Three. 3, 4, 9. Nice. There's something in the box. Fake right arm. It's the right arm of the body. It's kind of creepy. The box opening. Fake heart. A heart. This thing is super creepy. This ain't good for the heart. Okay, well, whatever.
You think we should go back?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's probably best.
Clover nodded and left. Junpei was about to follow her when he realized that Seven wasn't following suit.
Hmm?
Hey, Seven, what's up?
Oh, well,
He looked up at Junpei distractedly and then back down at the brown bottle he held cupped in his large hands.
Is that a medicine bottle?
I got curious about it. Here.
In response, Seven tossed the bottle gently to Junpei. He caught it and twisted it around to read the label.
Ethylene diamine tartrate?
Yeah, that's right. CDT.
What kind of medicine is that?
It's not medicine. I think it's an industrial strength detergent.
Why would they have something like that here?
Well, probably to clean stuff up.
Clean what up?
Fuck if I know. Still, it looks like it's cleaned my brain up.
Junpei looked up from the bottle.
You remember something?
Yeah.
Seven nodded slowly and spoke.
Well, I remember a story about EDT. Happened about 50 years ago. There was this factory somewhere in America making big old EDT crystals. They were making it to sell as an industrial strength cleaner, like I told you before. But a year after the factory started up, something strange started happening with the crystals they were building. The water molecules started attaching themselves to the EDT crystals. This made them into a sort of mutation of the original crystals, called a hydrate. Once the crystals turn into a hydrate, though, it's useless as a cleaner. The factory had to just dump the crystals. As a hydrate, they were useless. But it didn't end there. After that day, the same thing started happening in EDT factories everywhere, even ones nowhere near that first American factory.
Now, where have we heard a similar phenomenon, and who told us that?
They'd been making crystals the same way, with the same materials and the same equipment and environment. But now, all of a sudden, every single crystal they formed turned into a hydrate. In fact, ever since that day, no factory anywhere has been able to make a pure EDT crystal. Even in EDT research done years before, they'd never gotten a hydrate. But after it happened at the first factory, it just spread. It was like, man, how do you say it?
Like the molecules were communicating with one another, transmitting information in a way humans couldn't perceive. This phenomena spread throughout the world, right?
Junpei looked up at Seven with half a smirk. Seven stared at him, dumbfounded.
Yeah, that's it exactly. But how did you know?
Giving him treats. Oh, you put one on the... You can figure it out. You can figure it out. He figured it out. Oh no, it fell down. He has it now. I don't have any more. Somebody put a treat. Somebody put a treat on the arm of my chair, and he didn't know where exactly it was, but he could smell it, so he kept looking above and below it until he finally found it. Because he's a good boy.
I heard another story, kind of like that one.
When?
In the freezer?
What? The freezer?
Yeah, June told me.
That somebody being me? No, it was Fisk. Junpei told Seven the story he'd heard from June in the freezer in the kitchen. How one day, glycerin began to crystallize. And the story of ice that wouldn't melt at room temperature. When Junpei was done, Seven looked thoughtful and absent-mindedly rubbed the scar on his chin.
Ice that doesn't melt at room temperature, huh?
That Fisk being you. I'm not Fisk.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, hold up. I feel like I can remember something. It's right there.
Seven squinted. His eyes stared off into space, as if he were trying desperately to focus on something far away.
Do you?
No, something about Ice 9.
Do you know about Ice 9?
Ice 9? Ice 9. Ice 9. Ice.
Suddenly, Seven's eyes shot open.
That's it. I remember now. That woman, she's on this boat.
That woman?
Ice, baby.
Alice!
Who's Alice?
Come on, the woman who won't melt at room temperature.
Huh?
It became clear to Seven that Junpei had no idea what he was talking about. He ran his hand across his face and took a deep breath.
You know how the Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912, right?
Yeah, more than 1,500 people died. Worst maritime accident in history. What about it?
Did you hear about the boat that was sent to collect the dead bodies?
I think that was the RMS Carpathia, right? It was a cruise liner, just like the Titanic.
No, that was the ship that picked up the survivors. The ship that collected the dead bodies was the CS McKay Bennett. The McKay Bennett showed up on April 17th, 2 days after the accident. It set out from Halifax, a port in Canada, and recovered 306 bodies. The Atlantic that far north was really cold. It would have to be for there to be icebergs and stuff. Anyway, the bodies they pulled out of the water were frozen solid.
This isn't a very nice story. So, what happened next?
Well, they say the McKay Bennett recovered something more than just dead bodies. There were various bits of stuff floating around in the water. Things the drowned had carried with them, or stuff that dislodged as the ship sank.
A boat made to hold corpses, yeah.
One of the things they found was a coffin.
A coffin?
Yeah, a wooden one. The craftsman who made it must have been pretty skilled. It wasn't just a wooden coffin. It was all wood, no nails, no reinforcements, no gaps in the wood anywhere. The thing was airtight. The crew got pretty curious about what might be inside it and opened it up. They had to get a wedge and hammer it open. It was so well made. Inside, they found a woman. Or, I guess you should say, they found the dead body of a woman. Her hair was thick and black, and her skin rich brown with no blemishes or signs of decomposition. They say that she looked gorgeous, like a goddess. She was obviously dead, but everyone who looked at her said she just looked like she was sleeping. Her skin was so lifelike, she looked like she might wake up any minute. She didn't, though. Like the rest of the bodies they found, she was frozen solid. Eventually, the McKay Bennett finished searching and returned to Halifax. The 306 bodies were unloaded and taken ashore. However, it was warm enough that they began to thaw. They say that the stink was horrible. But there was one body that didn't thaw. And that was...
The girl in the coffin!
That's right.
Just make sure. I don't think they did that. I don't think they did that.
Everybody thought for sure that she'd melt and start to rot like the rest of them eventually. But weeks passed and nothing happened. Then a month passed, and another. And it was summer, and she was still frozen solid. After a while, people started to say she was some sort of miracle. Rumors about her started to spread. People came to visit Halifax from all over. After a while, people started to call her All Ice. Alice. Of course, those rumors didn't last long.
Why?
Well, she up and disappeared. One day Alice was there, the next day she wasn't. They say someone snuck into where they were keeping her and stole the body. With the body gone, the rumors followed pretty quickly. And after a while, no one remembered her. You might be able to find something about her if you could find a newspaper from back then, but that's about it.
Wait, you just said that she was on this boat.
Yeah, I did. Alice has got to be somewhere on this ship.
Now why the hell would you say something like that?
Because I know.
And just what is it you know?
What happened to Alice after she was stolen?
Junpei gulped.
Alright, tell me. What happened to Alice?
Seven nodded slowly and took on the look of a man recalling something long buried.
Well, around that time, the word was that there was a special black market in New York. All millionaires from all over the world. I've heard that Alice went up for auction there. person who won the auction was Lord Dashiell Gordain. You've heard that name before, right?
Lord Gordain. Oh, isn't he the guy who bought the Gigantic? The Titanic's sister ship?
Yeah, that's him. Although I guess he hadn't done that yet.
What do you mean?
Gordain bought Alice in 1912, and 4 years later, in 1916, he bought the Gigantic. And he hid Alice somewhere on the Gigantic, but nobody knows where. He died in 1931, and apparently he died without ever telling anyone where Alice was hidden. However,
What?
well, he did have one close friend who asked him, "Where is Alice?" And he said, "Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge beneath the navel of the Gigantic."
What the hell is that? Is it some kind of riddle?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Seven threw his hands up in defeat.
So that's it. Whatever you think, I believe it. She's hidden somewhere on the Gigantic. In other words, she's hidden somewhere on this ship.
Before Junpei could dispute Seven's rather bizarre claim, as Junpei was trying to figure out what on earth he was going to say next, Clover's shrill voice pierced the room.
Hey, what are you two doing over there? Stop wasting time and get over here!
Okay, we're coming.
Alice was hidden as the rich man Gordain. Okay.
Jeez!
Seven looked at Junpei.
Yeah, so anyway, that's the story. It might be useful someday. Don't forget it.
I will not. Maybe. With that cryptic remark, he turned and left the room.
Alice. Huh.
Junpei was left behind to ponder what he'd just heard. He tried to remember what June had told him earlier.
That mummy wasn't just a normal mummy. They say that she was frozen. The story says that from the time of its discovery all the way through to when it got put on the Titanic. Even though it was carried through the desert, her body never melted.
Then was that Egyptian priestess Alice? Did the water in her body become Ice 9? No, that's nuts. There's no way somebody like that could exist.
Junpei shook his head, trying desperately to clear it, and followed Seven to the operating room where Clover was waiting. Cool. I'm gonna go over here now. Hey, it turned red! Forget about that. Didn't you hear that just now? Leg. Woo! Right foot of the medical mannequin. Guess it's a woman's foot, but damn, doesn't look hot at all. Have you got a thing for feet, Seven? No. That's crazy. You're sure acting kind of shady. The right foot of a medical mannequin. Hmm. It's blue now. I think I heard another noise. Fake left leg. This is the left foot of the mannequin. Do you think I'm better? What? Do you think my legs are skinnier? Doesn't even answer. It's like, nope, ignoring that. Think of a purple liquid inside of it. I get it. You combine the red liquid and the blue liquid to make a purple one. Good job, Junpei! The purple light came on and I heard it unlock. I'm sure it's unlocked. The locker with the purple plate has gotta be unlocked. Or answer what the fuck is wrong with you, Clover. Alright, let's see what happened. Oh yeah, we just have purple liquid now. That bottle has purple liquid in it. Just have a bottle with purple liquid now. Woo! What if we poured it down the sink? No. Fake stomach. It kind of looks like a nose. This is a really big nose! That's no nose. It's a stomach. Oh, a stomach. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Hey, that ain't a drum, kid. Stomach of a medical mannequin. Ooh. Okay, so we've collected the 6 parts of the medical mannequin. Don't spin so fast, you'll spill the purple liquid. Right, okay. So the ones we've got must be for Lucy, right? Yeah. Seems like it. Well, I say we give Lucy her parts back. Any objections? Nope? Agreed. Alright, let's get started. Combine! You can tell Santa it's grape soda and get him to drink it. Hey, nothing happened. Wow. That's odd. Maybe it's the wrong... Oh, I'm sorry, that's Junpei. Maybe it's the wrong weight? Weight? Yeah, well, you know how there's a scale on the side of the bed? Maybe we need to get the scale to a specific number. How are we gonna do that? I think we're supposed to swap her body parts with John's. Oh. Let's give it a shot. And, oh goodness. I'm trying to remember. It's the notes. Yeah. Files. Yeah, medical record. A medical record found in the preparation room. It has 2 records for the mannequins. There is a male mannequin named John and a female named Lucy. The record showed each mannequin's total weight and the weight of their individual parts. So we need 51.3 and 53.2. Well, that's not right. I'm trying to remember what the combination for this was. Oh, yeah, it's like everything but their hearts, right, derp. Hey, Junpei, I just heard something. Came from John's operating table. We better check it out. Oh, yeah. Huh? The lid on the scale. Hey, it opened. Oh, I get it. It must have opened because we matched John's weight to what's on the chart. What is this? Key again? Jupiter key. There's a mark engraved on this key. I think it's the Jupiter symbol. The key with the Jupiter symbol engraved on it.
Hey, hold on.
Junpei stopped, about to put the key into the doorknob.
Oh, what's up?
Where's Clover?
Huh?
Junpei turned around. Clover was nowhere to be seen.
Oh, god damn it. Where the hell did she go? Okay, just hold on a minute. I'll go get her.
Sure thing.
Junpei left Seven at the door and headed back to the operating room. He found her standing next to the operating table. She was staring at the mannequin.
Hey, Clover, what's wrong? Come on, let's get out of here.
She didn't respond. If she hadn't been standing up and breathing, Junpei might have thought she was dead.
What are you doing? Did you want to come back here and say goodbye to John?
It wasn't the best joke, but it was something. An attempt to lighten the mood. Clover didn't laugh. She stood stock still and said nothing.
Hey, Clover, can you hear me?
Perhaps it was something he'd said, or perhaps it was something else. Suddenly, her mouth opened, and she whispered in a dry, dead voice.
My brother might be dead.
Huh?
That's why we couldn't find him. If he's dead, I'm going to be next.
Suddenly, the operating room felt very, very cold.
What are you talking about? What's wrong with you?
He gave her a small shake, but she still didn't respond. The silence grew heavier. Junpei, what do you want to do? Well, I'm gonna give it to her.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't know why, but suddenly Junpei remembered something he'd been given earlier.
It's in my pocket somewhere. Here it is.
The bookmark we couldn't refuse. Yes, exactly. He reached into his pocket and dug it out.
A 4-leaf clover.
Santa had given it to him in the second classroom. He held it out to Clover.
Hey, did you know? Each leaf means something. Hope, faith, love, and luck.
He's trying to cheer her up. Ah!
That's what a 4-leaf clover stands for. Take it. Use it as a good luck charm.
He pressed the 4-leaf clover into her hand.
Listen to me, Clover. No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love. If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck. Snake, I mean, your brother, he's not dead.
I don't remember going to a classroom. Yeah, it's just...
He's alive, somewhere. I'm sure of it. You've just gotta believe in that.
Clover stared at the 4-leaf clover in her hand. You could see tears start to form at the corners of her eyes.
Thank you.
Her voice was tiny and broken, and as she spoke, she started to cry. She tried to hide her tears by looking at the floor, but it did little good. She wiped away tears with the baggy arms of her jacket, but more quickly took their place. No matter how she tried, she couldn't stop crying. Tears made small wet circles on the floor.
Thank you.
Which is Clover is her code name. Then she looked up at Junpei, and she seemed to choke down the last of her grief. She did her best to smile. Junpei wiped an errant tear from her cheek with his thumb and gave her the best smile he could manage.
Now come on. Seven's waiting for us at the exit.
But still, she didn't move.
Wait, before we go, there's one thing I want to ask you.
What's that?
What do you think when you hear the word experiment?
For a moment, his mind froze. Then he came back to his senses and realized the word meant nothing to him, aside from the dictionary definition.
What?
Oh. I guess it was just a coincidence then. I mean, that you knew about the four-leaf clover.
Look, I'm sorry. I don't want to be a jerk, but you are making less than no sense right now.
Oh, no. It's nothing. Just forget about it.
Oh, don't give me that. You really think I could just drop this? What is this experiment you were talking about?
Clover looked away. The four-leaf clover was still in her hand. She stared at it for a long moment, and then finally spoke.
You promise you won't tell anyone?
Something about lemon juice and grenadine?
Cross my heart.
Really?
I will speak to no one about this.
Really?
I can trust you, right?
Yes.
Of course you can.
And I trust you too, Clover. Clover slipped the four-leaf clover into her pocket. Her eyes still red from crying, she looked up at Junpei.
Okay then, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what happened on this ship 9 years ago.
Wait. On this ship?
Yeah, this ship.
He was entirely lost. He had 1,000 questions, but it was probably best, he thought, to save them until Clover had finished. 2 ounces of gin, half an ounce of lemon juice, freshly squeezed, half an ounce of raspberry syrup, 1 egg white, and garnished with 3 raspberries. So that's... Is that in the song? And that's like a real...
It was an experiment to test some sort of psychic thing. Communicating through these fields that you can't see.
And where have we heard that before?
Fields that you can't see?
He'd heard something like this before. Clover nodded.
Like, think about this.
Huh. She pointed at the operating table. On top of it was a somewhat mismatched medical mannequin, whose parts had been swapped with another mannequin.
This is John, right? But is he really John?
Huh?
All Junpei could think was, she has finally completely lost it.
Isn't this like Locke's socks? Or the ship of Theseus?
Junpei grew even more confused. He'd never heard of either of those things, although they sounded smart.
You don't know? You haven't heard of those paradoxes?
No?
Junpei shook his head.
Really?
Clover laughed.
Okay, well pay attention then. This is how Locke's socks works. Let's say I've got a pair of socks. They're my favorite socks. One of them gets a hole in it. What would you do if that was your sock, Junpei?
Well, I guess I'd patch it up, get some cloth, and close up the hole.
But what if another hole opens?
I'd add another patch, I suppose.
What if another hole opened after that?
Another patch, I guess?
Well, let's say you just keep adding new patches. Until eventually, the original cloth of the sock is totally gone.
Huh.
Once you get to that point, can you really say they're the same socks you started with?
Yes, they're just more charming now, I suppose.
Well, that's tough.
Junpei crossed his arms.
So, that's the locked socks thing?
Yeah, the ship of Theseus is a lot like it. The ship of Theseus. If you keep fixing the damaged parts of a ship, eventually it ends up with none of the parts it started with. Can you really say that ship is the same one you started with? And what if you took all the old parts from the first ship and built another one somewhere else? Then which ship is the real ship of Theseus? The one you repaired, or the one you built with all the original parts?
Was an interesting question. I mean, I knew it was about alcohol. I just didn't know the lyrics exactly. The going merry repair logic. No one likes your answer to the ship of Theseus' theory.
Hey, do you think it's the same?
What's the same?
These guys. Is this John, or is it Lucy now?
Junpei looked at the operating table again. A mannequin full of body parts from a different body. Clover had been right. It was just like Locke's socks and the ship of Theseus. The part of the body that holds a person's identity is the head. Of course, for many hundreds of years, conventional wisdom had held that a man's identity resided in his heart, or any number of internal organs. And here, they had both.
John's head and heart are both his. But apart from those, and a single arm, the rest of his body was once Lucy's.
Was that mannequin really John? All founding members being replaced with new ones over time. Is it really the same band?
We're just like these mannequins.
She looked at Junpei again.
Think about it. The cells in our body change every day. Old ones die and new ones are born. Maybe part of my arm is made of stuff from a fish I ate once. Or maybe part of your right side is made from a cow you ate. If you take it a little further, those cows and fishes are made from something else too, right? That's how we're all connected. Through fields that can't be seen with the naked eye.
I mean, it's a very logical response. The silence was broken by Seven.
Hey, what the hell is taking you two so long?
Seven's head appeared in the doorway. He was not happy.
How long are you gonna make me wait? We don't have time to screw around.
Junpei and Clover looked at each other. Clover looked at Junpei as if to say there was more she wanted to tell him. She shook her head. Whatever she had to tell him, she didn't want to tell him in front of Seven. Seven seemed to catch on.
Oh? What were you two doing? Was this some sort of secret meeting?
We're talking about socks.
No, it wasn't. We were just
Just...
playing with the mannequins.
Huh?
Let's go, Junpei.
Yeah, we're best friends now. See you later, Seven. Moving a little bit too fast to be entirely innocent, Clover headed toward the exit. Seven stared after her, then turned to Junpei with an amused expression. We're talking about socks. Yes.
Playing with mannequins, huh? Didn't know you were into that kind of thing, Junpei.
You're a dick.
Junpei dashed past him and traced Clover's path out the door. With a short laugh, Seven followed. They stood in front of the door. Junpei took out the Jupiter key.
Alright, I'm gonna open it now. Is that cool?
You don't need to keep asking, just do it, alright?
Fine then.
He slid the key into the keyhole and turned it. He felt it unlock. Wait, why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? Wait. What? I wanted good things to happen first. Did I read the Lotus Instant Ramen line? No, I did not. When is that? Did I miss something funny? The door opened with a soft, melancholy creak. Beyond it lay a simple white hallway. There was no fanfare or confetti. It's in the kitchen. No, I missed the instant ramen line. Obviously, there was no one there to applaud them. You can put it... if it's funny, put it in memes. Obviously, there was no one there to applaud them. Then you simply walked through the door. That was it.
Alright, let's get going.
Hey man, what's up with you? You're so serious, you know? Can't you sound more happy, you know, get a little excited?
Not really.
Junpei turned away from Seven and took his first step down the simple white hallway.
My brother might be dead. I'm going to be next.
You're getting into this story a little bit? Well, good, because I think this game has got a fantastically weird story. And also, the entire trilogy is glorious. Clover had told him only a few minutes before that her brother was probably dead, and she was likely to follow him.
Like hell I can. Not after hearing something like that.
But we did it! Woo! Alright, perfect place. Because there are always places to save. It is 9 p.m. Think I would like Little Misfortune. That's the... I can't remember what the other game that they made was. Can't remember. Oh my god. I don't remember. The other game that that studio made. Can't believe I forgot. What is it? Oh, I dropped. Yikes forever. Man. I'll be wrapping up here. Not probably. I am wrapping up here. It's 9 p.m. and I've been going for 7 hours. Val is bothering me, meaning he probably wants to or play or both. Probably both. So thank you everybody catching this one. Goodbye YouTube. When this comes up on YouTube. Goodbye. Goodbye. Catch the boy. It's not really a meme. Okay, then, I mean, it could go in gaming. We learned stuff and things. We learned many things. Like how to make a clover glove. And about the ship of Theseus. It should be fine. But, yeah. I will quit the game now. Ah! I forgot this one wasn't turned off. It's on my desktop again. Oh, no.